TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusick Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay, Murtagh, Precast.
Fáilte go Uisle agus fáilte go dtí TEG Park so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TEG Cusick Park for this afternoon Shay, Murtagh, Precast Intermediate Football Championship quarter final between Milltown and Castledaly. Paul Doolan and commentary here for Irving TV, and I'm joined this afternoon by Paul Ahern. And Paul, we couldn't have asked for a better day for it. There's not much wind out there, the sun is shining, we're into October almost at the moment, and you know, this is what championship football is all about, I suppose, at this stage.
Well, it's first of all, it's straight knockout, so your season is down to 60 minutes, whether you're continuing or you're going home. It's a lovely day for it. The sun is out compared to this morning when it was very, very damp. Bit of a breeze going down into the Springfield end, but not substantial. You know, probably gives you another 4 or 5 yards on a kick, but that's about the height of it. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
Yeah, and we're looking at this from, I suppose, from two ends of the spectrum. Milltown had a poor start to the championship so far. They've come with a bit of a run, whereas Castledaly, having been senior here no more than 5 or 6 years ago, they're coming from the bottom group. Of course, they're coming after a great win. You and I were lucky enough to be here to see them. They absolutely gave Maryland the run around here last week. So they're coming in on a bit of a high. Milltown, I suppose, they will say that they're coming to the knockout stages now, whereas where they perform at their best over the last number of years, intermediate finalists last year, and they'll be looking to get back into that position again, while for Castledaly it's almost redemption to try and get back there.
Yeah, I mean they're probably both coming from a different set of ambitions at the start of the year. I mean, you know, I'm sure very early on in Milltown season it was, let's get back to a final and win it this year. From their point of view, and they've been building kind of nicely towards that. Whereas Castledaly coming up from Group B, it would be, let's put a mark on it, let's maintain our progress, but you know, may or may not have been get to a final and win it, but you know, they're building off a different base, and expectations might be different for both of them coming in terms of the pressure involved.
Yeah, and it was with that pressure last week, let's be honest about it, it was a shootout here, you and I were here for it, between themselves and Maryland last week, and Castledaly didn't show much signs of that, you know. They were measured in their approach, they were clinical in their finishing, and in the likes of Lurkin Dolan and Dan Heaven, like you have finishers, Paul, and that's what you're going to need at this time of the year. The pitches are getting that little bit softer, you have to work that little bit harder, but you still need the guys that are going to pop the ball over the bar into the back of the net.
Yeah, and I think that's critical for Castledaly. They're a little bit reliant, and I'm saying that very hesitantly, on Dan Even and Lurkin Dolan in terms of scoring, or more scoring than everyone else. They do have a lot of other guys who are well capable of chipping in with a point or two throughout the game, and they really need those two guys to fire for them today. If they get closed down, Castledaly will struggle to get scores.
It'll also be interesting to see how Milltown cope with Lurkin Dolan, because certainly Maryland put, I think we counted wanted at one stage 3 different markers on him, and they just couldn't control him. And that's just a sign of a real good forward. That's no disrespect to the Maryland lads at all. That's a real good forward, and Milltown are going to be at the pin of their collar to do that. Of course, they're coming in on the back of an intermediate final last year. They probably feel they should have won on the first day as opposed to the second day, with a litany of really, really quality players. One player that we mentioned before this started, Conor Dillon, out with a cruciate ligament injury, and he's a huge loss to them as well. I see as well, Luke Gunning is listed, but his twin brother Matthew is not, who was one of my stars of the championship last year. Don't see him in the panel either, but having said that, you go down through that Milltown side, the likes of Jack Duncan has played under 20 this year, you know, and then you have the Twin Towers at the centre of the field, as we said last year, the two Murtagh brothers who have been outstanding at all age groups now.
Yeah, and I think just on that, like the kind of one thing I was thinking coming in is it'd be really interesting to see Castledaly's kick-out strategy from their own kick-outs, and how they keep the ball away from either of those two guys, because they can be really, really dominant on kick-outs.
Having said that though, Paul, we were very impressed with the Castledaly midfielders here last week, particularly Aaron Sheeran. I thought he was outstanding for them here last week. Moved into the half-forward line, I suppose, for most of the second half, but he was a constant threat, and they're two big men as well, so it's going to be a fair battle in that midfield sector.
Yeah, it is, and it's like, it's interesting, like, you know, when you have your own kick-out, like, how do you take advantage of having those kind of dominant midfielders, and how do you set up to take advantage of their size and their ability to feel the ball. And then the kind of counterpoint to that is like, you know, defensively, how do you cope with it? How do you actually kind of, you know, get the breaks and be set up to win that second ball if it breaks off the kick out? That becomes
and
really
what you
crucial.
do with it thereafter,
yeah,
I suppose.
and then you're in transition, and then you can kind of hopefully go with it there afterwards. But I think, you know, it could be a real contest in the middle of the field. And if it is a real contest, it's who's setting up to be in position to win that breaking ball and then try and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and looking at those forward lines, the likes of Dara Hines, who's been outstanding for Milltown over the last couple of years, and Ben McGurn at full forward, you know, one of their go-to players over the last number of seasons. But if you look at the opposite side, then you have, as we mentioned, Larkandola, but you've also got Adam Turley, who was outstanding here for them last week, and the other Aaron Nugent as well. So what we're hoping for really, I suppose, Paul, is a bit of a shootout here more than anything else. Like, you know, the new rules have certainly benefited Milltown and Castledaly, because you're looking for your star forwards now to perform, and that's really what the game should be all about.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, the new rules have just created that space where good forwards can take advantage of those spaces, where rather than, you know, getting the ball and having a wall of defenders in front of you, you just have that bit more space in which you can operate. And, you know, if you're a good forward and you're an accurate kicker of the ball, you know, you're going to be getting the ball in good. Yeah, you're being rewarded, and you're getting the ball in good spaces where you can do damage.
Yeah.
And whereas before, you know, it was just like you get the ball, but it was really, really difficult to find space in which you could get a shot off. Even you're just faced with lots of players around you, wall of defenders in front of you. You know, generally what you do, turn around, recycle, and you know, scoring opportunities. I don't know if anyone's
the ball goes over.
yeah, I don't know if anyone's done the kind of the stats or the analysis. It might be a nice project for a student or something to kind of compare, say, videos of last year's games versus this year's games in terms of scoring opportunities in games. But definitely
or attempts at goal, or attempts at a score. Even.
Yeah, like, I mean, like the rule of thumb I kind of used was, like, you know, say last year where you'd be doing co-commentary on a game, there would be occasions where you'd be nearly looking to see the score in the soccer on your phone, even though the game was going on. You're meant to be commentating. Yeah. Whereas now the game this year is you can't take your eye off it. It's been really much faster, much more dynamic, and much more scoring opportunities.
Yeah, that leads us easily into our two teams for today. So we'll give you the two team lineouts today. We'll start with Milltown. In goals is Alan Garrity. Fullback line, number 2, Damien Kieran. Number 3, Bernard Kieran. And 4 is Sean Dillon. Tom Lynn is at 5. Conor Gibney at centre half back, and Matthew Gunning at 7. Jack Murtagh is at 8 and Dillon at 9, the two Twin Towers. Dara Hines at 10, Paddy Summers at 11, and Pete Ballasty is at 12. 13 is Luke Gunning, 14 is Ben McGarn, and 15 is Jack Duncan. Castledaly line out as follows. There's just one change to the Castledaly side. In goals is Cahan Dolan, Shane Fitzpatrick is at 2, Liam Fitzpatrick at 3, and Emmett Heaven at 4. Jack Carney at 5, Michael Lynch is at 6, and the change comes at number 7, John Warburton doesn't start. He's replaced by number 21, David Dolan. Centre of the field is 8, Aaron Sheeran, and 9, Alan Stone. Jamie Anders is at 10, Dan Heaven is at 11, and Aaron Nugent at 12. 13 is Adam Turley, 14 is Kevin Stone, and 15 is Lorcan Dolan. Your referee for this afternoon's contest is Niall Ward. And we're coming right to the crux of it now. Actually, I mentioned that Matthew Gunning was started. He's actually started at number 7. So you have 2 sets of twins, I think, or 2 sets of brothers on the Milltown team. And, you know, it's a kind of a family affair. Just to note as well, Milltown would normally wear green. They're wearing a kind of a navy jersey today because there's a bit of green in the Castledaly jersey. They're wearing yellow and green, but we would normally see Milltown in their green and white jerseys. So just for our viewers that are searching it, Milltown will be playing in a kind of navy jersey here today. And as you said, Paul, this is do or die. This is there's no coming back from this. Win, you're in. Lose, you're out.
Yeah, I can't put it any more clearer than that. Like, it just comes down to the next 60 minutes, or if there's extra time, or anything else that goes with it. But it's on the day today, and you know, this is what you've been building your season towards, to kind of, you know, stay in it and keep going and get yourself another game. And you know, both of them will be gunning for that from the off.
Yeah, and of course both with different new managers this year. McCarkin for Milltown, and of course Conor Foley for Castledaly. 2 lads probably learning their trade here as well, particularly at this level of football. Anyways, it's nice to see that they have some of the older players involved, and I see Conor Dillon is down as a selector here today. You know, it's an awful pity not to see him, because he's just a wonderful talent. I've been watching that young lad since he was at under 12 level, and you know, I'm sure he'd be chomping at the bit. You know yourself, you'd be a young lad at home with an injury, and lots of football that he can't play, and you know what it's like to be sitting on the sideline with that.
Oh, well, I'm glad they're on. I'm glad if at least they're on the sideline to feel like they're doing something, what do you call it, rather than
and on the opposite
sitting
side,
at home, take with you.
On the opposite side, if you look at Castledaly, one of their selectors, MJ McLaughlin McGill, you know, be famous in Castledaly for scoring a winning point here in the county final, in the county senior final. But we're almost ready to throw in here. Niall Ward is out at the centre of the field, and I see it's Jack Murtagh is at the centre of the field. He's waiting alongside Aaron Sheeran. So 2 big men for the throw, and ball is up, game is on. We're already going in the first quarter final here of the Intermediate Championship, and it's Castledaly that win the first possession, and it's Aaron Sheeran that gets it. Nice ball, Castledaly. They've opened it up on this side. Aaron Nugent comes to meet it, but Aaron Nugent can't make it, and it's intercepted by the great Bert Kiernan. You want a bit of experience, that's the man to do it. And there it goes, Matthew Gunning. Said I was looking for him in the programme earlier on, but there he is. I would have come with Ben McGurn now. McGurn, Milltown have slowed up completely. Looking around, sees Paddy Summers coming at the shoulder, but instead he goes to the far side. Building slowly. Luke Gunning gets it. Eventually gets it back out to Dylan Murtagh. Shifts it on, and if you want to know where Conor Gibney is playing, he's the only Milltown lad out there, I think, with a pair of white shorts on. So he's going to be easily picked up. Dara Hines now takes on one, goes through, onto the 21, looks around, sees that Matthew Gunning is on the loop. Gives it back out to Ben. Ben now gets it onto the right foot. Is he going to have a chance? He has. He's pulled it a little bit, and it's just gone wide to the left and wide. First chance for Milltown. Didn't strike him with a whole lot of conviction, Paul, if I'm honest. It just kind of slid off the boot more than anything else, and that ball is quickly taken by Cathal Dolan. Gets it out over onto the far side. Ball into Adam Turley. Turley now. Quick ball into the forward line. Trying to seek out Cage's player. Castledaly building on it. Sheeran now. He's right on the edge of the arc. Sheeran looks like to be dragged around, but it's not been given. Eventually comes back to Kevin Stone. Kevin Stone gets it over to the far side, and I'm just looking, Paul. John Warburton, we were told, is not playing, but John Warburton is out there, so it's not John Warburton that has been changed. Anyway, definitely when we find out exactly what that change is to Castledaly, but John Warburton is definitely there, the number 7. And just as we say that, Castledaly have turned over the ball, and it's Milltown back on the attack again. Right down the centre. Matty Gunning. Matty looks up and sees that Conor Gibney is off his shoulder. Conor Gives it McGurn. McGurn is named at 14, but he's going to play a roving role much as he did for most of last season. He doesn't hold on to the one spot at all. And it's gunning to gunning. Matthew to Luke. Luke now. Looks up. Doesn't see a whole lot of movement in front of him. So he gets it back to McGurn. Gets it over to the far side. It's the cornerback, Dilla. There's a long ball looking for Murtagh has it. He's got it into the paw. He goes round one and goes round two and blasted wide. Oh my goodness.
Milltown did really,
and it was
really
a wonderful
well
chance, Paul.
Yeah, no, great chance, and he just kind of he was moving in there all through that play and just got very isolated. And
Jack Duncan, I think, with the ball in that time.
Peter,
and it was
Peter Ballasty? No,
or Pete Ballasty actually. Yeah, it was pinpoint right onto his.
It was a lovely, lovely ball in, but he didn't have the finish to complement his catch.
Gibney now. Gets it out to Jack Duncan. Jack Duncan sees that Hines has gone through. Hines now, he's bearing down on goal. Hines, he's trying to get a shot in, doesn't get it in the first time, and eventually it's popped. But it's not, it's knocked over, and it's not wide. Oh, Paul, there's two whoppers of chances. Probably Darragh Hines probably had a better chance himself, if I'm honest.
I felt he should have gone for the goal and tried to slid it low.
So, yeah.
You know, he felt he didn't have the kick up to get it off.
But that's
and
two really good chances for Milltown already, Paul.
Yeah, no, definitely they're definitely finding joy. And
Castledaly struggling with the kick up. McGurn gets a lovely ball in into Jack Duncan. Duncan doesn't get it at the first time of asking, knocks it across, hits the crossbar. And it's just a comedy of errors so far. Eventually comes back. McGurn now. McGurn, if he looks up, he sees that Darragh Hines is free. Hines right on the edge of the knee. He'd be well advised to just take the score this time. And that's exactly what he does. A bit of experience that time. Nice score from from Darragh Hines, and it's the first score of the game to Milltown after 4 minutes here. Yeah. 4 minutes where they have really shot straight out of the bolt. They have made a lightning start here so far. Castledaly are struggling from their kickouts already, Pete.
Yeah, no, definitely, and actually even coming out of defence, you know, it's been a couple of turnovers or lost kickouts that are creating the chances for Milltown, and here they go again.
Gibney gets it into gunning to gunning. Eventually gets it out by McGurn now. Looks around. He sees it coming on the loop with Jack Duncan. Duncan, he's right on the 45, doesn't really catch it. It drops short into the grateful arms of Castledaly, and again a bit of a snapshot, Paul.
Yeah, like I mean,
Milltown have been guilty of that in the first few minutes.
We're 5 minutes in, 3 wides, 1 off the post and 1 short into the keeper's arms. You know, and they have a bit of a breeze behind them now. They need to be doing better to take advantage of that.
Good work that time by Alan Stone. Castledaly get it on the move again. Aaron Sheeran now looks up, does well. Dummies once, dummies twice. Still retains possession of the ball. Eventually gets it out. It's into Turley now. It's all again as John Warburton now. Full forward Kevin Stone retaining possession. A little bit more methodical in their build-up, Castledaly. They're moving it around the edges, moving around the fringes, looking for that go-to ball. Actually, Alan Stone is a little bit fortunate to retain possession there, but
the ball hit a divot when he bounced.
He did, yeah.
It was a strange hop.
Milltown get a tackle in, and Milltown's tackle has worked because it's come back out to Paddy Summers. But Paddy Summers, and the referee Niall Moore is perfectly correct there, Paul. He had won the ball. There was no need. He put the arm up. There's no question that it was a.
There was a great turnover by Milltown, and Paddy Summers got the ball and just decided to try and hand off the Castledaly player, and turned it like they had a great attacking opportunity if they could have gone a pace there.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity wasted. And I think it's the number 5. I don't think Jack Carney is out there, Paul. I haven't mentioned his name so far, and I think it's Jack Carney might be the player that didn't start. And we were very impressed with him here last week. Kevin Stone now trying to keep the ball in. Is he going to do what he is? If he looks out, he sees that Aaron Nugent is on the loop. Nugent gets it back out to centre half back. In it comes Dan Heaven. Dan Heaven gets it back out to a centre half back. That's Michael Lynch. Eventually comes Alan Stone. Simple ball in. Done well, Mike Lynch. Lynch eventually holds on to it. Gives it out to Sheeran now. Is Sheeran going to have a pop? No, he's not. He's looking for Jamie Anderson in the corner, but that's an absolute nothing ball, Paul.
No, it's
and a bit of a
far
waste
too high.
after being so patient They've given it away rather cheaply. Eventually comes in Ben McGurn now. McGurn right into the corner. He's looking for Jack Duncan. Duncan takes on his man, and Jack Duncan is by his man. Niall Ward is waving play on. But Milltown are coming on the attack, and it's Dermot Maguire. Maguire back to Duncan. Duncan goes past one, but Duncan knocks it, and he just knocks it wide. But it's not going to make any difference because going back for the free. Duncan was definitely tugged that time, and he going through. But again, Paul,
they picked the wrong option.
Absolutely the wrong option, and that's not the first time in the game so far.
I'm just looking to see, but I think it was who was on the outside. But all they do is just go one more pass across, so the cornerback should have just gone back across the goals.
And it was number 13. Was coming on the opposite.
Adam Turley was on the outside of him, and if he just popped it at him, he was straight in on goal on a nice angle.
McGurn now with a really, really difficult, but it's a chance at a 2-pointer. He's way over on the terrace side of the pitch, almost on the sideline. McGurn gets right under that one, and it just goes up into the air. No one really comes for it. Jack Duncan tries to get to it. Eventually comes to Paddy Summer. Paddy has a whack, but Paddy's just whacked it into the apartments actually, and there's a lad out there watering his plants is going to get a free football for his trouble. That's 4 wides already for Milltown, and it has to be a worry. Four, and one that was way back for the free. Yeah, no, that's an inauspicious start already. I know they're a point ahead here after 8 minutes, but it's
the positive for them, Paul, is they're creating a lot of opportunities,
and not alone scoring
really good
point scoring opportunities, they're creating goal scoring opportunities.
But you know, you have to be kind of getting the scoreboard taken and putting them off. Like a point at this stage, 10 minutes in, is a poor return for the amount of opportunities that they've had.
Absolutely, and you're inviting Castledaly onto you then as well.
Well, they're still in the game. You're leaving them in the game.
Completely in the game. Ball out to the centre. Eventually it's grabbed. Murtagh gets it into Luke Gunning now. Looks up and sees that Hines is coming off the ball. Hines gives it back to Gunning. Milltown playing in a very tight area there, and eventually comes back to Jack Murtagh. Jack is going to have a lash. Jack is dropped short. Jack Duncan goes up for it and did hold up a little bit, and whatever bit of a breeze, Paul, that did hold up a little bit.
It's kind of coming across a little bit. Like actually, the most notable thing so far is have Dan Heaven or Dolan got their hands on the ball yet?
I don't think they felt the weight of the ball.
And you know that's a problem for Castledaly. It's good for Milltown point of view,
and they're turning over an awful lot of possession as well, in fairness. Milltown are tackling, and their tackling has been excellent so far, and they have 2 men around the ball. Eventually comes out to John Warburton, and they're definitely, Paul, Jack Carney. I don't see a number 5 jersey out there, so I think that number 21, the change at the start of the game, David Dolan, was for Jack Carney. Paul has gone into the forward line. It's well dealt with by Dermot Maguire. He was behind, a little bit behind Lurkin Dolan, but he still managed to get it, and that's the first time they've actually even searched out Lurkin Dolan.
And it's just like, to be honest, Castledaly just looked that little bit more lethargic and slower in their transition and their attack play compared to Milltown, who are very, very dynamic. A lot of movement off the ball. They're transferring the ball very well. You know, it's kind of like a game at 2 paces, depending on who has it.
That's a nice ball into Tommy Lynn now. Tommy waits for McGurn to come to meet it. McGurn eventually gets it back to Tommy Lynn. Tommy's certainly not going to have a go for it. Gives it out to Murtagh. Murtagh sees that there's a man free in the corner. That's Dermot Maguire, the corner back. And Maguire, is he going to have a go? No, he's not. He gets it back across the square. And it's Bert Kieran, the full back. It drops short. It's going to be a goal.
Oh my God.
How is that ball not in the back of the net? I think it was Paddy Summers actually had the last touch.
That's one to pause and go, what happened next?
I'd love to be doing a spot the ball and now you would have given we were talking earlier about Bettle here, and there was definitely one where
cornerback to the full back,
cornerback to full back, and the centre half forward couldn't knock it in the net. And again, it's another chance created by Milltown that they haven't finished. That's Jamie Anders, but Jamie Anders looked up and seen Lurkin Dolan had moved that time. That's a poor ball in, and again it's Milltown. They're coming out with that ball very easily, Paul. Which would be a worry. It would be a worry for Conor Foley.
There's kind of 3 things. One is they're not retaining any possession in their forward line. 2, their transition is very slow. They're turning over the ball in possession.
Just as we say that, Milltown do the very same thing. That's a terrible pass that time by Jack Murtagh. Dan Heaven now. Dan looks up. He's looking for Dolan. Dolan this time. Is he going to make it? Yes, he does. Well caught by Dolan. He's found on the ground surely. But he gets up. He's onto that left peg. And that left peg is one because you give that man any amount of space at all and he'll knock it over the bar. Beautiful score from Larkin Dolan. His first introduction to the game. And what does he do? Pops it straight over the black spot.
Yeah, it's their first shot at goal. And you know, they're very clinical, and it's a draw game now. And Milltown, you know, I hope they don't go to regret all these missed opportunities they've had so far.
Castledaly almost conceding that kick out there. Eventually comes back out to this side. Dermot Maguire now. Dermot on the attack. Gives it to Paddy. Paddy Summers now. Looks up and sees. Has he a man in front of him? He has. That man is Ben McGurn. An awful lot of ball has gone through McGurn, Paul.
Yeah, no, he's definitely the playmaker, kind of in that kind of almost 11-ish role or deep line 11, and everything seems to go through him.
Back out to Hines and Tara. He's right on the 45. Gives it out to McGurn. McGurn gets it over to the far side. Jack Duncan now. And she sees that Hines is free. Hines, has he a man off the shoulder? He has. He's at least one, maybe two. Hines decided he'd go for himself.
It's a two-pointer, yeah.
That's a beautiful score from Darragh Hines. I have to say, Paul, he hadn't a whole lot of options apart from that. There was players running laterally around him, but nobody really making that incisive run. And Darragh Hines said, you know what? I'm going to just kick this one over the bar myself. And that's a beautiful score. 3 points to 1 here. 14 minutes gone here in TEG Cusack Park. First half, that has probably been dominated by Milltown, but still they only lead by 2. And we have a game in our hands. Ball over to the far side. Again, it's won by Milltown. They look to be winning all. Niall Ward is like, I think there might have been at least one, maybe even 2 frees at the time. But
definitely the second
he was
one.
Certainly closer to it than I was. Murtagh now looks up and sees that we have a Milltown man coming on the attack. It's Matthew Gunning. Matthew now takes on 2. He still retains possession, does well to retain possession there because he went into a wall of green and gold that time. Ball out over to the far side, out to Paddy Summers. Paddy now gives it into Gibney, takes it on, gives it back to Summers. Summers skips past 1, skips past 2. Paddy kicks it off the left and right foot. Paddy Summers who knocks it over the bar.
Created space slowly for himself, a little dummy hop, and you just open up the space for him to
but it's
kind
the
of glide
simple
it
things
over.
as well, Paul. Just get that opportunity, kick it over the bar. You don't have to be creating goal chances every time you come forward. 4 points to 1 to Milltown. We're just into the second quarter of the game here. 15 minutes gone here at TG Cusack Park, and Conor Dillon is patrolling the sidelines here, roaring at lads. I think he's almost an interim manager here at this stage for Milltown. But again, it's that kick out, and Castledaly are slightly fortunate to get possession of it this time. But they hold on to it. Ball way over to the far side. Michael Lynch is after running 20 or 30 yards with anybody coming and gives it into the danger man Dolan. Dolan now onto the left foot. Dolan, he's been chased around, but Dolan gets it off the left foot. Oh, Paul.
Beautiful point.
A thing of beauty is a joy to behold. What a beautiful score from Larkin Dolan. 2 points for him, 2 points for Castledaly, but the trail by 2.
What they did beautifully was he just ran into the man, which created a little bit of separation off him, and then was just able to swing it off the outside of his left boot. Lovely way of creating space.
And much like he performed here last week, Paul, you know, just give him that couple of yards of space, he'll do damage. Sideline ball to Castledaly here. They're right under our commentary position here. And back it goes, Emmett Heaven. Get it into Dan. Works it back, Alan Stone now. Nicely worked around eventually. David Dolan was involved in it. They're looking for Larkin Dolan, but this time I'm afraid he's beaten to it and beaten to it well. I think it was Sean Dillon actually got to the ball that time, and it looks like Sean Dillon is taking up Larkin Dolan as we speak. Over on the far side, there's a ball gone into nobody. Again, that's turnover ball, and that's not the first time. But I've been saying that both teams are extremely guilty of it. There's a challenge for the ball here. Is anyone going to pull out? And certainly the Milltown man wasn't going to pull out anyway. Pete Ballasty, he certainly wasn't going to pull out. Indeed, it wasn't. It was Tommy Lynn. Back it comes, Jack Murtagh. Murtagh strikes it off the right foot, but they're great when they go over, Paul. They're an eyesore when they go wide.
Those outside of the boot ones, you know, there's a couple of fellas in the county, Lurkin Dolan being one, Dennis Croon from Shamrocks being another, who can really do those consistently well. Yeah. I think most players can probably do them, but it might be a one
when they're going over.
It might be a one or 2 out of 10 in terms of.
They're beautiful when they go over, Paul, but when you make a rake of it, it looks very silly.
Yeah, and I think like it's just having the discipline to go, I'm not good at that yet, or I'm not brilliant at it yet. Let me just swing it off the inside.
And of course, it's a skill, a great skill to have in the game to be able to do that. Again, the ball is out, and again, Castledaly are struggling from their kickouts, Paul.
Yeah, no, they don't, and they haven't kind of created the opportunity for.
Jack Duncan is going to try and soccer it through. Eventually, it's not showing. Oh, nobody went for it at all, and that's an absolute nightmare. Jack Duncan taps the ball into the back of the net almost.
Softest goal he'll ever get. Between the keeper
that's
and the
a horrendous mistake by the keeper there, in my opinion, Paul. We'll have a look back at it again, but that's just an absolute giveaway. And nothing, Paul. Jack Duncan was going for it again.
After, kicked it ahead of himself, missed it. Full back missed it. Full back actually kind of, or his cornerback just kind of swung his leg at it and it kind of put it past the keeper and just had it hanging there in front of the goals, and Jack Duncan just tapped it in.
Bottom line is, Paul, goalie is there to defend the goals. He should have been controlling that situation. And again,
I'm going to give the keeper a hard pass on that one, Paul, looking at the replay. But yeah, no, you're right. It was an unfortunate sequence of events there that Castledaly should have defended that.
Events. And Milltown, after creating a couple of goal chances, get the softest goal of all and tap in 1-4 to Milltown. 2 points to Castledaly. That's 7 points to 2 here. We're 19 minutes into the first half here.
The score probably more reflective of the game so far.
Probably a little bit more reflective of the game. Dara Hines is still going. Nobody's come to meet him yet. And Hines says, you know what, lads, if you want to give me that opportunity, I'll just knock it over the bar. And that's a beautiful score. 4th point for Dara Hines already. And if they're going to give him that space call, they're going to suffer. I'm sorry to say for Castledaly. They really have to start marking up a little bit and get a little bit closer to the player in possession.
Yeah, and like Milltown now are starting to convert those chances. Like they've 7 wides, 2 off the post, or two into the keeper short, and 1 off the post. Yeah. To add to that, those like you're talking 10.
And there's
16
no doubt about it, Paul.
Scoring opportunities. Castledaly have had 2, and they've taken both of them. But that's the difference between the teams at the moment.
You and I were very impressed with that young Jack Carney here last week here against Maryland. He's not there today, and his presence, his lack of presence, has been felt by Castledaly because their defence is at 6s and 7s down into the corner. That's an absolutely nothing ball as well. Is this going to be the first wide? Yes, it is. First wide for Castledaly, but again, it was an absolute hospital pass, is what I would call it.
It was into a 2-on-1 floating in the air, like nothing was going to come off that. That would be anyway productive. It's like, please don't be hitting those ones into me.
And there's a bad kick out by Alan Garrity, and there's the chance now. Lurkin Dolan. Lurkin, is he going to take the chance? He tried to lob the keeper, and instead of that, he just. I think actually that was a little cheeky shot at goal, Paul. I'm not convinced he was trying to buff that over the bar. But it's a third score.
If I was him, I'd be saying that was what I was trying to do, because he nearly put it wide or into the keeper's arms. So,
but it was definitely going to be a score.
It wasn't a good contact, but
it came from a poor kick out by Alan Garrity, it must be said. Ball right down the centre, and this is claimed again. And Castledaly beginning to get a little bit of a grip at the centre of the field, and they're going to need that. They're going to need that little bit of fire from there. In it comes Alan Stone, right down the centre now. Stone goes past 1, goes past 2, sees that Michael Lynch is free, gives it back out to David Stone. It's come right into the corner. It's Aaron Nugent, the nugget, bearing down a goal.
Puts it inside net.
Into the side net.
He's better off going across
if you're
the open side.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to go for goal, take the widest part of the goal. Certainly, Alan Garrity wasn't going to be beaten at that side of the goals. And still haven't said that, Paul. It's a chance. A chance for Castledaly. They're certainly coming back into this game. There's a beautiful catch. It's given. Second time. And is Niall Moore going to bring this on? No, it's not. Conor Gibney gets up, gets the ball on. It's gone into Jack Duncan. Duncan now, he skips past his man. And Jack Duncan has span across his man on a couple of occasions now. This gives it back out McGorn. McGorran sees that Dara Hines is free. Hines now, he's got 4. Is this a 5th one? Is this the full handful? Dara Hines strikes it and Dara Hines pops it over the bar.
Dara Hines is picking up a lot of space. He's not being
showing
really
a lot of
closely
experience
marked.
as well, Paul, and so composed on the ball. You know,
like
there's a few of the Milltown players could learn a bit of a lesson from him.
He's probably about 2 single points and 1 2-pointer, I think, so far, just off the top of my
3
head.
single points and a 2-pointer.
Yeah, so like, you know, he's picking up a lot of space, getting on a lot of ball, but he's generally doing the right thing. And saying that, he probably missed a goal opportunity as well.
Yeah.
And you can see here how loose Castledaly are, even though they're in possession. Like, he's getting a lot of space. Ben McGorn's getting a lot of space, and they're causing problems for Castledaly.
Ball down the centre. Milltown deal with it well this time though. They lead 1-6 to 3 points. The 6-point lead here, 23 minutes into the first half. Milltown have really dominated this first half. Castledaly living on scraps, if the truth be known. But they're still in the game, Paul, and that's all you need to be. Coming up towards half time, they will have a bit of a breeze on their back in the second half. Be interested to see how they use it. Again, it's the go-to man, it's Hines. Hines skips past one, has a look, sees that there's no one coming off the shoulder, gets it back to Murtagh. Murtagh looks up and sees that Matty Gunning is coming on the loop. Matty right down the centre. Again, it's Hines. He has been the pivot of it himself, and Ben McGorn have been the pivot of that attack, not playing in the specific positions that they were named in, but that means nothing. We've discussed that here on a number of occasions. The number on your back means absolutely nothing. Now, Jack Duncan. Jack is after hitting one. I think that's actually close to Springfield. If the boys at Springfield are out from the lawn, they might pick up that ball, but that's a horrendous wide from Jack Duncan.
Yeah, that's I just scored a goal. I think I can do anything type of shot, and he'd been far better served even just taking it on and driving into a more central area. He could have just popped it over.
Because he seems to have the beating.
He's winning a lot of ball
and
skipping by his man and getting in a lot of space. Just needs to start converting some of those chances.
Ball back down through the centre, tries to be knocked down that time. It's eventually gathered up by Castledaly. Again, they were a little bit fortunate. They really are struggling from their kick-out spot.
Yeah, no, they don't have a platform at all. Every ball has been broken and it's kind of 50-50 thereafter, and that's putting them immediately under pressure.
Aaron Nugent now. Up on this stand side of the pitch. Nugent looks up, so you see a hole on in front and gets it into Stone. And it's 3 up. This is going to go back. It's going to be a 3 up on 3 on 3. Milltown definitely breached the rule there. There's no question about it at all. Niall Ward has been informed by his sideline official here.
I think I don't want to be too critical, but like they could have just let the play develop for a little bit longer, because Castledaly actually just had probably the sniff of a goal opportunity there.
And maybe come back to it at that stage.
Now it's easy to say that in hindsight, looking from where we're looking. But,
and if they had missed the goal opportunity, then would Niall Ward have come back to that? You know.
Yeah.
But having said that, the 3 on 3 rule, if you breach it, that's it. And it's strange, Paul. Oh, let's come back off the post. A 14-yard free back off the post. Is he going to make amends here? But that's a poor miss from Lochadola. Gets it back over the square to Dan Heaven. Dan Heaven goes for it. Dan Heaven doesn't get it to him. Milltown have dodged the bullet there, Paul, but that's a horrendous miss from
and that was a very similar kick off his left foot, Lurkin, to the one that kind of just crept over the bar earlier. He just didn't make good contact with the ball, and you know, straight in front of the goals, 21 yards.
Yeah, if you're
definitely won't be happy.
If you're going to miss those ones, Paul, you're in serious trouble. Milltown back on the attack now. It's one thing, we were discussing this here last week, Paul. We haven't seen a whole lot of that breach of the 3 on 3 rule, if we're being honest.
Yeah, and like you're sitting where we're sitting, like right on the halfway line, you kind of be a little bit tuned into it, and it just doesn't happen. It happens very, very rarely. It just requires good communication.
Luke does well to get back, and it gives it back to Matty. Matty, he's broken through one tackle. He's going to have a go, is he? And it's the wing back as well.
That's
not the beauty over the bar.
Really well worked.
And if the forwards, won't do it, the backs will.
Yeah, it's gone out to 7 points rather than 5 points if Lurkin Dolan put that over the bar, and then there was a kick out and an opportunity to press.
It's kind of been there was a kind of a synopsis, a full synopsis on Castledaly so far. Close, but just not good enough at the moment. And they're trailing by 7 points here in TG Cusick Park, 1-7 to 3 here as we're heading into the Lee at half time. 3 minutes to go here in TG Cusick Park in the first half. Aaron Nugent looks up, see that Lurkin Dolan is there. Lurkin is now definitely being marked. It's actually, I think it's Diarmuid Maguire has gone on to him now. So Milltown are swapping over different players on it. Dan Heaven goes through and Dan Heaven is fouled. It's going to be a free right on the right halfway between the arc and the D. Dan Heaven looks to have.
Yeah, he got a bang on his leg there earlier on when going for that kind of 50-50 ball out in the middle of the field, and he's been struggling a little bit
Kevin
since.
Stone is coming out to kick this one, so Lurkin obviously not happy with that. Kicking into the wind. I think this can only be a single pointer. I think he was fouled inside it. He's brought the ball.
No,
has been brought back
I think
out.
it was outside.
He's definitely brought it in with the kick.
Gone wide anyway.
It's not going to trouble the score maker anyway. Third wide for Castledaly.
We won't have to have an argument over whether it was a 2 or a 1 pointer anyway, Paul.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've seen quite a lot of that over the last number of weeks. If you Augustin, there's an argument over in the. I think it was the
Milltown are under a bit of pressure in their kickouts as well. You know, they're trying to
yeah,
vary
they're both struggling a little bit. Yeah, Diarmuid Maguire now eventually gets it back. Pete Pallister gives it in. Ben McGorn looks up and sees a Conor Gibney. Gibney has been a bit of a peripheral figure so far in this game, as indeed have the two Murtagh brothers, but they're moving nicely now. Gibney gets it back in. This time it's the other going in again. That's
good combination play, but the finishing isn't there from Milltown.
No.
You know,
it's just one pass short of
making it 9 wides now. And they're not. You know, probably
of
1 or 2 are Hail Marys.
Very poor variety, if we're being honest.
From really good
ball
scoring
right down
positions.
the centre. Darren Hines goes up for it, doesn't get to it. Jack Murtagh can't get his hand to it either, and it's turned over. John Warburton now, but John Warburton is turned over, but he's turned over illegally. It's going to be a free to Aaron Sheeran over on the terrace side of the pitch. He gets it back to full-back Dean Fitzpatrick now. Fitzpatrick, his defence has been under huge pressure in this first half. Stone gets it into Fitzpatrick, and then Stone falls. It's gone right over to Dolan. Dolan is trying to get there. He's been well marshalled by Sean Dillon. Sean Dillon is still there. Lurkin can't get by him. Sean Dillon gets a hand in. Sean Dillon eventually knocks it over the sideline, but he's been penalised. I think he's right. I think Niall Ward is right there. It was over the shoulder. Sean Dillon was just a little bit too eager, Paul.
Yeah, I think he just, the ball was there and there to be competed for, and he just dived in, and unfortunately for him, it's going to be a free.
Chance now for Kevin Stone though to grab one back just as we're coming into the half time. I haven't seen an indication from the referee as to how many minutes are going to be. That's a beautiful score.
That's a 2 pointer.
That's a beautiful score from Kevin Stone.
Really.
And if ever a score was needed, Paul.
And it's one you don't see very much anymore, fella taking the ball off the ground.
No, and with no trajectory on it either.
Yeah.
It was low, it was hard, and it was bang spot into the right part of the field. Lovely, lovely score from Kevin Stone that time. And Castledaly will be a little bit happier going into half time, and as we speak, there is the half time whistle, and they've got the last score of the first half. Probably be the happier of the two sides, considering that they've given up so much possession in that first half.
Yeah, I think, look, they've been far more economical and kind of making it 3 wides and a ball off the post for Castledaly, and you put that together, you know, it's probably less than 10 scoring opportunities they have, which is the worrying part for Castledaly.
Yeah.
When they get the ball up there, they've been really, really efficient. You know, on the other side, Milltown have kind of probably dominated possession, dominated attack and play, but, you know, 7-8 wides, a couple of balls off the post, a couple of butchered opportunities for goals. They'll be disappointed with that element of their play, and if they can tidy up their finishing, you know, they'll feel very confident they can get a result here. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do that against the wind.
Yeah, and I have a feeling Milltown won't take too long to go to the bench as well either. You know, fellas are just not performing up to scratch and not doing the business. Like, if you look at their bench, there's some really decent players on there. Sean Summers, Nathan Craig, Paddy Kiernan, and Jab Ice. sticks out like a sore thumb to me there at the moment, Paul.
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's only back playing recently, but you know, they will. There's no question in my mind. I agree with you. They will rue many of the chances that they've missed. 9 wides in the first half is really a poor return.
Like, you know, when you look at that kind of Milltown front 8, you know, Dara Hines has been excellent and very, very good from a scoring point of view. Ben McGorn's been getting on a lot of balls, setting a lot of things up really well for them. Jack Duncan's been getting on a lot of ball, but his finishing, apart from that 2-yard tap in, has been poor. You know, Paddy Summers, Peter Ballasty, Luke Gunning, you know, they just
haven't contributed enough for me.
No, and like even in the middle of the field, Jack and Dylan, you know, they've got on a bit of ball, they've had a few Hail Mary shots, but you know, they haven't dominated the way they might expect to dominate from that point of view. And that's, you know, and that's been really harsh given the amount of possession, the amount of opportunities they have.
I totally agree with you, but sometimes you just have to say it as it is, and you know, for the amount of possession that they've had and for the amount of attempts they've had at goal, and indeed for the chances that they've had, I think it's a poor return from Milltown. But look, they might go in at half time and rectify those matters, whereas for Castledaly it's simply get the ball forward. You know, they've done the business when they've got it forward, but they've really got to start getting it forward a little bit more often and getting it into the scoring positions that they can pick them off from.
Yeah, like, I mean, like Castledaly actually are playing really cleverly in attack. So what they're doing is they're pulling all their forwards out to almost outside the smaller arc and leaving Lurkandole isolated inside with a lot of space around them. Now, Castledaly have only managed to pop balls into that space very occasionally, and when they have done, you know, invariably, you know, it's kind of 50-50, but Lurkan's been getting on ball and been getting scores off it. And if they can get that ball into that area, they can be a lot more threatening because it's 1-on-1. If Lurkandole gets his hand on the ball, generally you're going to expect a score from that area.
Well, excuse me, I nearly had to cough up a lung there, but at half time here in TG Cusack Park in the Shay Murtagh Precast Intermediate Football Championship quarter final, it's Milltown that lead 1-7 to 5 points. That's a 5-point lead. Double scores, I suppose, if you look at it that way as well. We'll be back with the second half, and do stay with us, of course. Don't forget it's a double header here on Airview TV today. Coming up later on, we have the Senior Football Championship quarter final between Mullingar Shamrocks and Garrycastle. Ray will be here for you with that one. I'll be over chewing the nails over on the far side of the pitch and on the ball of iron. But for the moment, at least, we're going to take a little break. Be back with you very shortly. Do stay with us and do support our sponsors.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusack Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GA.
Cusack Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay Murtagh Precast.
Fáilte Racharish Gadi Parky Sog TEG, you're very welcome back on Airly TV to TEG Cusick Park for the second half of this Shay Murtagh Precast Intermediate Football Championship quarter final. Both teams are out fairly quickly, Paul, we have to say. Milltown leading by 5 at half time, but it's still all to play for here.
Yeah, no, it'll be. I mean, I think the first 10 minutes now is critical for Castledaly in their sense to kind of just bridge that gap a little bit and build a little bit of momentum, and for Milltown to.
A couple of scores could turn this game on its head.
If Castledaly can get a bit of momentum in that first 10 minutes and get a few scores, it could get very interesting very quickly.
Yeah, well, we're ready to throw in here now. We're wasting no time here. Ball is in. Game is on. Second half is ready to start here. Paddy Summers gets his hands on the ball. Doesn't get it the first time. Goes down it the second time. That's... Well, I don't like criticising referees, but that's definitely...
If I was Paddy Summers, I'd be feeling very hard done by there. I think, to be fair to Niall, he was blindsided. There was two players kind of in between him and...
He definitely was going down on the ball when he was tackled. Ball go back. Castledaly now. Looking to build. Need to get a score early in the second half, in my opinion. Eventually comes out Dan Heeman. Dan, he's inside the 45. He's outside the arc though, but that's pulled right across the goal.
Dan was going for that outside the left foot and didn't connect with it. He connected with the inside and
closer to super value nearly.
It almost went out for a sideline.
Yeah, and if we were disappointed at looking at it, I mean, how disappointed is Dan Heeman with that one? It just,
you know, it was a good
skewed.
opportunity if he just kind of there was a bit of space in front of him. If he took it on about 5 yards, he would have been in for a nice little scoring opportunity over the bar. Suddenly momentum is with Castledaly, which is what they want.
And if we look at it now, Milltown swapping around in that centre field area. Alan Garrity looking for a pass out. Does he get it? Yes, he does well to get it out to Sean Dillon. Sean Dillon gets it on to Pete Palestine. Pete was a bit of a periphery figure for Milltown in that first half. They're going to need more out of him. Going to need more out of quite a number of players in the second half. Matthew Gunning now does well to go past one, and Matthew Gunning has been one of the shining stars so far for Milltown. He has got an amount in the possession, gives it back. Again, that's a wild effort from Jack Duncan. And Paul, we have to say that's not his first wild effort.
No,
that wasn't even close.
No, and it was a difficult one. He was kind of almost from a standing start, and it can be very hard to get momentum on it. But to win the kick out,
but Alan Stone is well beaten to it. Chance now, is there? No, it's not. Eventually comes Paddy Summers does well. Does he hold on to it? Doesn't hold on to it the first time. Ben McGurran goes down, and the second time Ben McGurran eventually gets it out. That looks like a shove at the back, and Niall Ward says play on, lads. And Castledaly fighting for every ball, maybe a little bit more than they did in the first half, Paul.
Absolutely, and just a bit of momentum with them. If they can get a score off this, I think it'll be really, really significant in terms of the shape of the play going forward.
Alan Stone passes it on to Kevin Stone now. Castledaly is a bit of a kick up, but instead of that he goes back and Kevin Stone with ball in hand looks up, seeing that Alan Stone is available. Player we haven't mentioned in the first half at all, Paul, who had a really good game the last day, is Aaron Sheeran. Really hasn't got into this game at all. I see they've moved him into a more advanced position here in the second half. Ball into the forward line, into Dan Heeman. Dan Heeman does well. Bert Kieran, and if we thought that was a foul, but really it's been allowed to continue, and it's going to drop short. And Dolan gets a touch in it. It's gone out for a 45, and I actually thought it was a free further back. I thought Dan Heeman was fouled, Paul. You know, if I was going to call it on one side, you have to call the other.
Felt like it.
It looked like it to me, and
it was just the angle.
Wasn't far from getting his hands on that ball, and that was a goal chance created.
It was almost like he was trying to palm it over his hands and over his head, and you know, I think it went off the Milltown corner back and out for a 45. But
could have went anywhere, Pete.
Could, like, if he put a fist to it, it could have gone easily into the net.
Chance now, though. Kevin Stone to get his second 2-pointer free. He's right. It's actually not. It's a 45, so it's only a single point of a cross.
It's over.
That's a beautiful strike of the ball. And that narrows the gap. Exactly what you wanted from Castledaly for the start of the second half. Out early, score early, you know, put Milltown under pressure, and there's now only 4 between the sides. 1-7 to Milltown, 6 points to Castledaly. Next score here, Paul, I would suggest is going to be absolutely crucial.
Absolutely.
Ball over to the far side again. It's knocked down, but it's knocked down into the Castledaly man. And Jack Murtagh's gone down. He's gone down.
He's in trouble with his knee.
I don't think there was anything untoward in that. I think it was just he fell awkwardly.
I think it was the way he just came down. I'm just going to look back on it, but it was just looked like he caught it, and he just the way he came down.
He looks to be in a bit of trouble here.
But like the noticeable thing about that was Castledaly, the hunger they had to win that breaking
Which
ball.
we didn't see in that first half.
No, not at all. Yeah. Oh. He came down and he was falling backwards and he planted his foot, and that's going to be very, very sore for him. Hopefully it's not too serious.
He's in a bit of distress here. The magical sponge is out there.
Sometimes can work.
Yeah.
When it's just an impact injury. If it's something a bit more serious, it doesn't really solve the problem.
Again, I have to say, it was nothing untoward. What it, I think
No,
it was
not at
more
all.
the way he fell.
He jumped up, and as he was coming down,
Planted
his
his
feet,
foot.
he planted his foot in front of him, and you know the way it was kind of coming down behind, and he may have twisted that knee a little bit. We'll just see how he is now when he stands up.
He's back up on his feet, and he looks as if he's going to continue, and we're glad of that. You don't want to see a player be taken off. Jack Murtagh is still there. Again, Paul, he's been a peripheral figure on this for Milltown so far this time. Himself and brother Dylan Murtagh have been peripheral figures so far, but they're probably going to need a bigger contribution from these lads if they're going to have any say in this one. Again, the free is taken backward by Castledaly. They're building from that back. John Warburton gets it into Alan Stone. Castledaly moving a little bit slicker, Paul. There's a little bit more urgency in them.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
David
there's
Dolan
just
gets
a
it
bit
over
more
fancy.
energy about their play.
Right down through the centre, that's a foul. Alan Stone is going to continue on. Ryan Ward is blowing for the free, but he's allowing Castledaly, because they're in possession. Milltown are going to have to be careful again, Paul, because they have 4 players right on the edge of that halfway line, and eventually it comes forward. Turley now, Adam Turley. That's a nice ball across. Again, it's dropped short. Is it going to make it? No, it's not. It's gone out for a 45, but it's a chance for Kevin Stone to kick
Given his
another
ability
45.
from that distance, it was almost like he created that for himself. He kind of drove it in to hit the man and go out for a 50 rather than. I'll give him the benefit of that rather than him trying for a point from
That's
a long way out.
Ultra creativeness. It's a little bit more difficult than the last one he had. The last one he had bank smack in front of the goals. This one is more over on the terrace side of the field. But we've seen he can strike the ball and strike the ball very, very well. It'll be interesting to see where this one goes. If it goes over the bar, we're back to a 1-score game, Paul. And if Milltown dominated the early exchanges in the first half, there's no doubt that Castledaly have dominated the early exchanges the first 8 minutes here in the second half. That's a nice strike. But
it's a nice strike, but it's gone wide. The accuracy there, but.
There just seems to be somebody must be moving the goalposts at the.
Seems to be hard scoring to that end.
Very few scores at that end.
I don't know. Maybe there's a couple of drones flying around in front of it. Seemingly that's the topic at the moment.
Richie Heffernan is down there as an umpire. Richie's probably moving the goals around. I very much doubt that's the case. Eventually comes out. Definitely, Jack Duncan has come into a far more retreated role. Gives it on to Sean Summers, but Sean Summers lets it drop down the hand and. Again, that's just a giveaway. And look at the amount of Castledaly players that's around it. They are hunting in packs, and they know their season is on the line, Paul. They've really, really come out in this second half in absolutely tremendous fashion. That's a lovely ball in. Alan Stone, he's looking for Lurkin. Is he? No, he's not. He's very well defended actually at the back line, and that's
really well
super defended that time. But it's given away.
Tommy Lynn.
Oh, just after doing all the hard work that time, in fairness. Tommy Lynn was after doing all the hard work that time and just gave the ball away, and Castledaly back on the attack now. Lurkin trying to get it onto the left foot. Eventually he does. It's back across the goals. Alan Garry goes up for it, doesn't make it. It's missing. Oh! How did that stay out of the net? How did that stay out of the net, Paul?
Oh my God!
Paul Ahern, that's just an absolute.
It was a terrible shot.
It was a dreadful shot, but it had all the hallmarks of going in by. If Milltown got a free goal in the first half, that looks to be the very same in the second half. I'm not quite sure who got the last touch in it there. You're watching it back on replay here to see who got it, but Milltown definitely got away with one there.
Oh, the ball came across, keeper dropped it. It was Dan Heaven who was at the end of it, and he somehow contrived to miss it, and it seemed easier to just pop it in the net.
Jack Duncan does well to get it back a second time. 3-on-3 here, and Niall Warren has been told. And if we had it in the first half, Castledaly have only 2 forwards. As far as I can see, there's only 2 men up, and this is going to be an absolute giveaway. And Paul, if we said it in the first half, you know, players know the rule. You've got to have somebody keeping an eye on the fact that there's only 2 players forward. You know, it's something that you've got to become accustomed to, and most teams have. But that's the second time in this game, and it's just a pure giveaway and a coach killer.
I know, absolutely. And like, look, it can be easy to do if you're drifting and you're just on that, coming up to that halfway line. Just having a quick look over your shoulder before you cross over can be really, really helpful.
Castledaly get on the attack. Milltown still leading here, 1-8 to 6 points.
It's a big turnaround. Goes from like possibly 2 points being in it to back out to 5.
Absolutely.
At last play.
Chance now. Gunning gets it back. Nicely moved through the hands. Gunning to Gunning. How many times have we said that today? They have worked extremely well. Matthew coming through, sees that Ben McGurn is coming off the shoulder. McGurn has a phalanx of players in front of him. Does he see a player in front of him? He does, but I'm afraid that's well intercepted. And Castledaly, definitely, if they were a little bit lax in defence in the first half, it certainly has been quite the opposite in the second half. But again, it's kind of lost over the far side. Jamie Andrews gets it eventually. He knocks it off a Milltown man, and it's a sideline ball to Castledaly. It's been a bit of a comedy of errors in the second half, Paul.
A whole lot of
football in it.
A lot of turnovers, a lot of fellas taking the ball into contact and losing it, and you can see Jarlath Boyce is almost ready to come on.
I was wondering how long it would take. Ball right down the centre, looking for a player. Who's going to get to it? Eventually it's gone again. No fouls to the referee. Bert Kiernan has it now. Bert looks up. He sees a player there, but you're not going to drive it through a lad, and it's Aaron Sheeran gets the ball. Sheeran looks up and sees that his midfield partner Alan Stone is available. Alan Stone goes into the tackle. It's going to be a free in for Castledaly. Quickly taken into Lurkendolan. Lurken does extremely well to get a hand in it, and Lurkendolan is fouled. Again, Paul, it's a comedy of errors here. It's too many mistakes from Milltown. They're under pressure in defence, and they're not coping very well with it at the moment.
Yeah, it's just that there is that space, and particularly in front of Lurkendolan and Dan Heaven there in the second half, and Castledaly are putting the ball in there, and if they get their hands on it, very difficult not to foul them.
There's a major chance here for Dan Heaven. They missed Castledaly. Lurken missed one early in the first half. But this is a critical score in my opinion.
After told about the spot, and that's not really helpful for a free taker in terms of his concentration.
And he does right over the black spot. Lovely score from Dan Heaven. His first of the game, it has to be said. 1-8 to 7 points here. 13 minutes gone here in the second half. It's a 4-point differential. It's 4 points to Milltown. Came in here as heavy favourites, but they're under the cosh pall here. It's Castledaly that look to be the team with a bit of a wet sail here.
A little bit of one now. If they can put maybe 2 scores together, I think it will give them a lot of momentum. But Milltown win that kick out.
That has been their problem so far. Bit of nonsense going on here at the centre of the field between players, and Milltown will be well advised to get out of that.
Absolutely.
Start playing a bit of football. Ball into the centre. Conor Gibney now. Hasn't had the greatest of games so far. He'll know that himself. Gives it into McGurn. McGurn is running around. And it's a free to Ben McGurn. Way over on the far side. And there's a little bit of touchiness breaking out here, Paul. The game is close.
No, there definitely is. There's been a lot of kind of handbags on and off the ball. And it's making it
we
very
said it
scrappy.
earlier, there's 2 substitutions, the double substitution on the Milltown side. That's Jar Boys coming in anyway.
And Nathan Dillon.
And Nathan Dillon Cray.
Peter Ballasty is coming
Peter
off.
Ballasty.
And
I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen the second person come off the field.
coming
yet,
here,
Paul.
I think it's
It's Luke Gunning, which is a very strange decision for me. I thought he was one of the link players there. I'm not quite sure that that's the right decision. Jack Duncan now, chance to pop it. Jack Duncan pops it over the bar.
well worked free. 1-2 and just had him sailing into space to pop that over the bar.
12, Peter Ballasty, and number 13, Luke Gunning, are replaced by number 18, Nathan Craig Dillon, and number 20, Jarlath Boyce.
Yes, there's just to see Jar Boyce has gone right away to the edge of the square, Paul, and we know from football over the years how dangerous that young man is at the edge of the square. Of course, he's been out of football for quite a while. He was actually on the county squad here not that long ago, but yeah, that's John Warburton. Milltown under serious pressure again, and it's free after free here, Paul, and we have to. Niall Ward is absolutely right in these frees. That they are holding frees, and you know players are getting frustrated with it. But if it's a free, it's a free. Simple as that. You've got to just get on with it. 1-9 to Milltown, 7 points to Castledaly, a 5-point lead. We're into the 16th minute, 17th minute of the game here in TG Cusick Park. Dan Heaven now with a chance to narrow that gap. Whatever bit of wind that does in it, he has it.
It's kind of coming across him though. It's a tricky one. He just wants to go to left post.
Castle well, not sure it's going to
accuracy,
make it
but
to
not
us.
with
Getting
this
around the goal, Alan Garrity goes for it. Alan Garrity trying to nudge it out over the sideline, and Alan Garrity doesn't get it the first time, doesn't get it the second time, gets it third time of asking, and Alan Garrity did very well there, Paul, because he was under immense pressure.
He was under a lot of pressure. Took him a couple of efforts, but he got it. Castledaly are crowding it out now, and just a little bit eager. And it's a free out.
And
Probably just a little bit eager. They had him bottled up. They had 3-on-1 there.
up, yeah.
They just didn't need to kind of overcommit, and they might have got a free out of it.
But that Milltown defence are coming under serious pressure here in the second half. Can they cope with it? Can they retain that lead? One player that has completely gone out of the game is Tara Hines. They haven't got a single ball to him in the second half. That's a nice ball into Murtagh. Murtagh looks up and sees that Jack Duncan is coming through, but that's a lovely tackle. What a tackle that time by Liam Fitzpatrick, as clean as a whistle.
It's like Castledaly are struggling to get scores, but all over the field they're dominant. And I'm just looking at the Milltown body language here. When they make a mistake, they stop running. They throw their hands up in the air.
It's just something not right.
If Castledaly can tag over 1 or 2 scores, they have all the momentum with them, and Milltown could be in trouble. They're just hanging on at the moment, truth be told.
Castledaly on the attack now. They're trying to get it through. Eventually it's broken up, and Castledaly have done that too many times, in my opinion, Paul. Get into a really decent scoring position, and all of a sudden it's just simple turnover, a really, really simple turnover.
Sometimes you're just delivering balls into spaces where you're going to get outnumbered, you're going to get closed out to the sideline and not really have options. And when they go down the middle,
you've got to have more of it. You've got to have a second option apart from just playing the ball into Lurkin Dolan the whole time. Anyway, Nathan Craydillan over to the far side, gets it into McGorn. McGorn sees there's a man free. Chance now. Luke Gunning bearing down a goal, and Luke Gunning! Oh!
Super finish.
Matty Gunning!
What a
Luke
finish.
is off the field. My apologies for that one. It's Matty Gunning, and that was just a score out of absolutely nothing, Paul. It looked like Castledaly were going to get a score this time, but they worked it up very well in the free, and that's a super, super finish for a goal.
They just created the overlap, and young Cray, just popped it on, and then there was another pass inside, and young Gunning just was in clear space and took it on and just absolutely roofed it. Great finish. And that's kind of, I think that'll settle Milltown's nerves. 10 minutes to go. That's a massive settler for them. Stretches it out to 7
Sean Summers
points.
is on now as well. He's replaced.
Substitution from
Jack Murtagh.
Number 8, Jack Murtagh, is replaced by number 17, Sean Summers. And substitution for Castledaly, number 10, Jamie Anders.
Jamie Anders has gone as well. He's replaced by number 22, Shane Kerrigan. Sean Kerrigan. And Milltown now tails up now after the goal. It was probably a game decider, Paul, in my opinion. Ball has gone into the forward line. Nathan Craig Dillon, he has made a huge impact with 2 touches of the ball he's been involved in. Back it comes to Hines. He's been in the periphery of the second half, but it's back out to Gunning again. Gunning strikes it off the left foot, and Gunning pops it over the bar. And
he's had an impact in the last 5 minutes. That's a super
Gunning
point.
has scored 1-2, Paul.
Yeah,
you know, from wing
super.
back. And
I don't think I've seen him at wing back in this game. Truth be told, he's been definitely very advanced the whole way through the game.
Castledaly in big trouble now. 2-10 to Milltown, 7 points. That is a 9-point difference here, and it's been all Milltown in the last 5 or 6 minutes, and they have really cut loose here in TG Cusick Park. Castledaly will rue severely the couple of chances that they've butchered really in the second half, particularly that goal chance, how it stayed out of the net, Paul, and it really would have made some game in this game, because at the moment there looks to be only one winner here.
They're really, they have a big mountain to climb now in 10 minutes.
Adam Turley, nice ball in, sees a man is free. Milltown try and get around the shooter, and they do. He's dispossessed, but it's still going out, and that's gone out for a 45. And for the first time in a while, Milltown looked to have defended with a little bit more purpose to their defending this time.
Yeah, there was half a chance there in terms of, I think it was John Morburn, was it? Number 7 just turned and he had that space. He could have probably just pulled the trigger.
It was John Morburn
in that instance. If he took it, but Milltown scrambled back and managed to get dispossessed. It's gone wide.
That's gone wide again, and just when you needed a score, and number 27 coming up. We actually haven't got a number 27 listed, Paul. It was down here as Shane Dolan, but we were told he had changed his jersey to number 26. I'm not quite sure who that substitute is, but as soon as we find out, we'll let you know. I think it is actually Shane Dolan wearing the 27 jersey. Be interested to see who's gone off. I don't see anyone gone off yet, Paul, have you?
Yeah, he's coming down the sideline here. It's I think it's David Dolan, is it?
I think it's David Dolan, the number 21, yeah. It's a free to Castledaly, almost on halfway, and they're going to need a little bit more. They're going to need a goal, Paul, and going to need it quickly. If they have any say in this game.
I think they need more than
whatsoever.
One goal, if the truth be told, Paul.
Well, even one to get a bit of a start on it. Too many players are playing on the periphery of the game so far, and
substitution for Castledaly, number 21, David Dolan, is replaced by number 27, Shane Dolan.
Yeah, it is Shane Dolan. We were given it as he was 26, but it is Shane Dolan. I knew the minute he came in that's who it was. Castledaly season on the line now. Is there a bit of a fight in them? They've probably got about 10 minutes, Paul. Would that be fair enough to say?
Thereabouts,
There's probably going to be about 10 minutes left in this game. Alan Stone kicks a high, handsome ball, and that's gone over the bar. A two-pointer, and if ever you need it, a leader on the field, a leader for his team, a leader for his club, and has been there or thereabouts on so many occasions for Castledaly, and they're going to need a little bit more than that, though. They're going to need a couple of those quickly. Alan Garrity now. A lot of this on the kick out, right down the centre, looking for Paddy Summers. Doesn't make it the first time. Eventually comes to Hines. Hines, lovely ball. What a ball, he gets it in. Sean Summers now, bearing down a goal. Sean takes a turn on, goes flying on the ground, dives a little bit there, a bit of a Greg Louganis, I think, more than Anton Nelson. Brent McGurran picks up the pieces, but Brent McGurran has tugged it wide. I think Niall Ward is absolutely spot on with that decision. Sean Summers was certainly looking for a handy one that time.
I'm waiting for the replay to come up, but he was clean through, and actually, his thinking was good. Drive at the man and get pulled down for the pen, and I think he just thought about diving early.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah.
Somebody will put that on his highlights reel for a stag party or a 40th birthday party or something.
Yeah, or the Olympic diving party to show Tom Daly how it's done. But good work by Niall Ward there that time. That certainly wasn't a free.
No, he didn't buy it.
And he's done well. Sean Summers has done well, but unfortunately he's fouled. And Milltown without doing anything spectacular here today, Paul. They still lead by 7 points. You know, it hasn't been a great or an amazing performance by the Milltown men, but they've done enough and they've got the scores at the right time. Perhaps a little bit fortunate with the first one, but certainly the second one there was no fortune in that whatsoever. And they've just played the ball around that little bit better. And what they have is they've got it into the shooting forwards at all stages. And look again, it's Matthew Gunning again. Named at number 7. He is not playing at number 7. That's a ball across, and that's a beautiful score again.
Another one.
1-3, is it?
Yeah, no, it's definitely over.
Yeah, it is. It definitely looked over to me.
No, another great score. And he's
1-3
just
for
picking
Matthew
up
Gunning,
pockets.
Paul.
He's
And
picking
he's
up
been the
those
difference
pockets of
between the
space
sides.
in the arc, and definitely he's been very, very accurate.
Ball into the centre. Aaron Nugent now. The Nugget. Bearing down a goal. He's looking for Larkin, but that's gone too far. He's gone out over the end line. And a 4th wide for Castledaly up there.
It's not the ball Larkin wants. You know, running away from him. Even if he gets it, he's got.
But
a lot
again,
of work
Paul,
to do
he's the
afterwards.
only target up there. Castledaly
But you see the space
trailing.
he's in, Paul.
Castledaly are trailing by 8 points. They've got to put a target man in there. They've got to create something else, something different. That's nicely caught this time. There's a man free here. If he looks up, Dan Heaven looks like he's free. Gives in it to Turley. Adam Turley bearing down the goals. Adam Turley looks around, sees Larkin on the left foot, and Larkin kicks it, but it's gone up and over the bar. And, you know,
Young Turley been
it's
better
a score,
going
but
for the goal.
it should have been a goal.
Stage of the game, the way it's at, a goal. He should have
and
gone for the goal.
young Turley has played very, very well, Paul. He's burst the gut out there for Castledaly. That probably was a goal chance. Larkin just slid off the foot a small bit.
Sometimes when you have a quality player inside you like Larkin, the tendency is always to give it to him.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes just taking the decision to go for it yourself might be just a better option at that particular moment in time. But it's understandable.
Milltown playing it around the periphery again. Conor Gibney, he hasn't left that. Like I said, there's a space of grass out there. He's worn a path around it. He hasn't really drifted forward. He's just controlling that back line. Hasn't got a whole lot of possession. Darragh Hines, that's a lovely ball over to the far side of the field now. Milltown building again. Again, it's that man Gunning. This time he doesn't get anything out of it, does he? No, it's not. It's still available, but it's going to be a free out. And certainly, Paul, if Milltown are looking for a hero today, they need to look no further than the number 7. He has been outstanding for them here today. 1-4 and has contributed so much to the game as well apart from that.
Yeah, no, himself, Darragh Hines in the first half particularly as well have been outstanding.
It's a hefty challenge. It's gone again. Ja boys, first touch of the ball I think for the Ja. Nathan Craig in and gets it out over to the far side. Jack Duncan looks up now. Duncan, he sees a man free. That man is Luke. Look at him, Jack Duncan again. Jack Duncan goes for goal. Is it going to be?
I thought he should have gone himself and just
I
popped the
thought he
ball
should have
over the
as
bar.
well. I thought he should have as well.
Jack Duncan
because it was a rather
the
tame
rebound
effort from
just
Jack
came to
Duncan,
him.
but Matthew Gunning made no mistake with that one, slotting it into the back of the net. He's now scored 2-3, Paul, which is virtually the difference between the sides. An outstanding contribution from wing half back, and he has been the go-to player for Milltown today. And that scoreline, 3-11 to 10 points, flatters them greatly, but at the same time, there's no question upon they have been the better side. And when the chips are down, they got the man in the right spot. Darragh Hines now. Hines looks around, he's fouled, it's going to be a free in.
Like, they've dominated possession, like, probably for 2/3 of the game. There was a patch there, maybe the first 15 minutes of the second half, where Castledaly definitely got momentum, definitely got on top.
Just didn't do enough with it.
Didn't score, didn't even create scoring opportunities, and that's been the difference. You know, Milltown have created a lot. Like, even though they're on 3-11, there's probably another 10 to 15
at least
scoring opportunities that they've left behind them, and that's been the difference between the two teams.
Jack Duncan strikes it off the left foot. And Jack Duncan scores. He's on to 1-2 now. And even having scored 1-2, he's been a bit of a peripheral figure in this one for a really good player, Paul. You know,
yeah, he got on a lot of ball in the first half. Second half, not so much. Dara Hines, really impressive in the first half, not so much in the second half.
John Warburton now does well. He's still on the go. Warburton looking for Lurkin. That's a great ball. That's the ball that Lurkin Dolan has been asking for. Unfortunately, he can't retain it. It's gone back out to Nugent. Nugent gets it in. Nugent's trying to take it back. Eventually comes to the corner back. That's Shane Fitzpatrick. Looks out and sees that Lurkin is free. Lurkin off the left peg. Pulls it across the goal. Is it going to make it? Yes, it is. And that's a 2-pointer, Paul. Is it a little bit of too little, too late?
Are the difference.
It's a little bit of too little, too late, though. Unfortunately, it's 3-12 to 12 points. That's 9 points of difference. We're into the last minute of normal time. We have no indication as to how many extra minutes there will be here in TG Cusick Park, but at the moment, it's Milltown are heading for the semi-final and Castledaly are heading for season finish. Again, Milltown move the ball. When they move it quickly and when they move it with a bit of pace and a little bit of 3 minutes, we're getting this. Jack Duncan now.
At least 3 minutes.
Gets it back out to Hines. Dara. Into Gunning. Grabs a ball. Glenn McGorn now. Milltown just playing out time now at this stage. They know this game is in the bag. It's a semi-final for them. Probably against the road rival Shandon, as far as I'm aware, Paul. I'm not 100% sure on that. Back it comes, Bert Kiernan now. Bert rambling forward. That's a dangerous pass, but Jack Duncan somehow manages to get a hold of it. Jack Duncan now with a chance, and Jack hits it off the left foot, and Jack Duncan strikes it up and over the bar. And
the spaces are opening up now.
I think, even at this stage, I think Castledaly have given up the ghost, Paul. They know what's beyond them. 3-13 to Milltown, that's 22 to 12 points for Castledaly. That's a 10-point margin, and while it flatters Milltown, there's no question in that they have been the better side here.
Yeah, no, for the majority of the game, they've dominated possession, dominated scoring opportunities. They've been wasteful in some of their attacking play, but, truth be told.
But it's something to work on, I suppose, for Mickey Harkin,
Look, you'd be a lot more worried if you weren't creating scoring opportunities, Paul.
Absolutely.
If you just got to work on the conversion of them, it gives you something to work with. But you're definitely creating them, and they created a lot today.
Players will be expecting maybe to shine today. Weren't really to the fore as much, but come the next day, Kevin Stone now with a long range effort. Kevin Stone, has he caught that one well? Yes, he has. Another 2-pointer.
And they just didn't take those create those opportunities or try and create those 2-pointer opportunities.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
That's the third 2-pointer they've had in the game, and comfortably so. Comfortably so.
Perhaps it's something they should have been considering long before this sojourn in the game, because we're into the last minute. That's a lovely catch that time by Murtagh. Murtagh gives it down to Matthew Gunning. Gunning now. He's going to take on his man. Back it comes to Gunning. Gunning. Oh, he can't get it into the ball.
Thinking about the hat-trick, I think.
Yeah, I think he had his eye on the hat-trick. He had his eye on the onion bag, I think, before he had possession of the ball. But it's Castledaly comes out, and Larkin Dolan playing as almost a midfielder here now at the moment. It's closer to goal. They want him. Eventually it comes to Liam Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick gets it in to Aaron Sheeran, a player that we thought might have more of an influence in the game today. He hasn't. Aaron Nugent now. Nugent. It's a goal Castledaly need. Aaron Nugent decides he's going to strike it across goal, and Aaron Nugent has put it wide, a fifth wide of the second half, and just it's playing for time, P. And there it is. That time is over. It's all over here in TG Cusick Park. Milltown came in as 1-8 favourites here, and they've proven that they were a good value for that quote, because they've won here on a scoreline of 3-13. That's 22 to 14 points from Castledaly. That's an 8-point difference here in a game that Milltown, I suppose, probably were the better side, Paul. Didn't play up to their full potential, even having scored 3-13. That's a strange thing to say, but that's the reality.
Yeah, no, look, Milltown were full value for their win. Apart from that kind of 10-12 minute patch, in the second half where they were up against it. They were up against the ropes for that period, but they rode it well. And that goal by Matt Gunning, after Castledaly missing a point down the far end, was a real turning point in the game from that point of view. But look, Milltown will be pleased about the number of scoring opportunities they created. They'll be a little bit disappointed even with that scoreline about how they converted it. Another thing they'll really kind of want to hone in on before that semi-final is just the amount of turnovers where they took the ball into possession, lost it, and they mightn't get away with that again from that point of view, but they're full value for the win. Matt Gunning, what an outstanding game he had, particularly in both halves. He did that scoring in both halves, from that point of view. Dara Hines was really, and Ben McGoran really influential in the first half, less so in the second half. Jack Duncan got a lot of possession.
Blew a bit hot and cold for me today.
His conversion in the first half was poor.
I know that he's an absolute quality player, and
you could see it in the second half. He was still, getting opportunities. He still came away with 1-2, 1-3 in the game. Probably a lot more in him from that point of view. But little few questions maybe just in terms of addressing midfield, breaking ball, kick-outs. Still a bit of work to do there.
At the centre of the field, I have to be honest today, Paul. Two absolute huge men at that centre of the field, but they weren't as dominant as I thought they would be.
No, not at all. And Alan Stone had a fantastic game.
I thought he had as well.
Played really, really well. I think the big Castledaly probably be most disappointed is just not creating scoring opportunities. Very heavily reliant on Lurkin Dolan, trying to isolate him inside and try and pick passes into him, and maybe a bit more variety in their attacking play might have created more opportunities. But there was a period there where if Dan Heaven got his foot to that ball in front of the goals, it was back to a 2-point game. They had all the momentum, and things could have we could have been in for a cracking last 20.
You and I were amazed how the ball didn't go to the back of the net. I'm still thinking about that one, how it did not end up in the back of the net. And it was a critical point of the game as well. That would have been brought back to a point. With that, Milltown went down the field and he scored 1-2 without reply, and game over. Whereas it could have been right into the teeth of a cracking last 5 or 10 minutes. In the end, it turned out to be a little petered out a little bit, unfortunately. Sometimes you have to put your hand up and say you're beaten by a better team, but Castledaly be disappointed with their own performance today more than anything else.
Yeah, I think they would be happy with how they competed, and particularly the intensity they brought in the second half. I think to be disappointed about just not creating scoring opportunities, I think that'll disappoint them. Conversion-wise, they weren't too bad. There was a couple of other goal opportunities. There was a pass by young Turley to Lurkin Dolan when he could have taken the shot himself. There was another one kind of a similar nature, and they look back on the game and say we had chances to make that an awful lot closer. We definitely had those opportunities. I think that's what will probably disappoint them, that they just didn't take those. And
possibly a little,
yeah. I think that would be a challenge.
But anyway, that's the current situation here from TEG Cusick Park. It's Milltown that win here on a scoreline of 313 to 14 points. They go on now to the semi-final here in a couple of weeks' time. It's Milltown that will make that forward. For Castledaly, I suppose, it's a little bit of redemption. They're back up into the top group for intermediate level next year, and something to build on, I suppose, for Castledaly. But today it belongs to Ballia and Willen. The Milltown men go on to the semi-final, and we leave you here. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up directly after this broadcast, we have a second of our double header between Mullingar Shamrocks and Garrycastle. The clash of the Titans, I suppose, there a couple of years ago. It was county final here on many occasions in the 2000s, and two huge clubs going at it here in the quarter-final. Ray me on commentary for that one. For the moment, though, from me, Paul Doolan, from Paul Ahern on co-coms, and indeed from Ollie on camera, many thanks for watching in with us. Do stay with us for the second of the double header. Slán.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusick Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay, Murtagh, Precast.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusick Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay, Murtagh, Precast.
Good evening, everybody. You're welcome back here to TEG Cusick Park for the second of double headers. This Shay, Murtagh, Precast Senior Football Championship quarter final between Mullingar, Shamrocks and Garrycastle. I'm joined in co-commentary today by Alan Mannion. Alan, beautiful day, conditions absolutely perfect for it in what should be a good close game.
Yeah, two teams coming off 2 losses last weekend. Obviously going to try and get that back onto a different keel after today. But yeah, two teams are going quite well. Garrycastle are moving very, very well. I know from playing them ourselves this year how well they're going. But Shamrocks are playing in a very much a better standard of a group. So, or Garrycastle are playing, or Shamrocks playing in a better group, obviously. So it's going to be very, very close. I said to someone after we played Garrycastle, I fancied them to get to at least the semi-final. But then after the way you saw Shamrocks playing a couple of times this year, you'd be questioning whether that'll happen or not. But looking forward to a really good game. Wind is going down into the apartment end as usual in this place, and it's not that it won't affect it too much. I wasn't here for most of the first game. I couldn't tell you whether it was making much of a difference, but really looking forward to a good encounter here.
Yeah, just looking at quick turnaround for both these sides, Alan, and you know, as a result of that, Mullingar Shamrocks are the ones that have really suffered with it, with 2 changes in their line-out, 2 injuries, you know, that happened last weekend in the last round of group games, where Davy Gavin not starting, nor is Ryan Kelly. I think Ryan Kelly suffered the old dreaded ACL injury, is what we're led to believe. So we wish him a recovery, but you know, he's a prodigious young talent. We've seen him at underage, and so he'll be a loss to Mullingar, as will Davy Gavin. Davy didn't start last week, but he's an experienced player driving forward from the centre half back position. But Effie is another very experienced player, so he'll slot in there into the half back line anyway. Yeah,
well, you can't underestimate the loss of these two lads, because I saw Ryan Kelly playing for the Westmeath under-20s in a few games this year, and I was very impressed with him. He's really accurate and dead. He loves going for goals, and it's a real bonus when you have lads that are in the side that if they get the ball and they're going to go for the juggler. You love to see lads like that as a manager, as a coach. You love to see lads that are just going to really go at it, and Ryan Kelly is one of those lads. The other thing is that Davy Gavin has the experience. Like if you look at the half back line of Garrycastle, of James Dolan, Mark McCallan and Gary McCallan, that's a seriously experienced half back line, and the only real one in the Shamrocks defence that's going to match that is Davy Gavin, and unfortunately he's out now. Effie will have the same experience as Davy or similar, but it probably wouldn't be as good a leader as Davy Gavin is.
Yeah, and look at the switching over to the Garrycastle side, and 4 out of 5 in that Section B, but have looked impressive. We covered some of the games on ERB TV, and they have looked good. They came back into senior level last year. Won the intermediate championship last year. They were really looking forward to consolidating and have done well by getting back up into the second or the top tier for next weekend or for next year.
Yeah, but the thing about that though, Ray, is if you go down from intermediate down from senior to intermediate, it's very hard unless you come straight back up. And they obviously put Gary Dolan back in there, and Gary is a very experienced manager who's done a great job on them to win the senior championship here a number of years ago, and he's extremely well liked down there, and players will go through a brick wall for him. He brought in Doran with him as well. They're two lads that have done everything for that club. Like if you look at the amount, I'd say they have 16 or 17 championship medals between the two of them, and it's they're extremely well liked, and Gary's getting the best out of this Garrycastle team, as he's shown a number of years ago when he managed them to win a senior championship, and even last year to win an intermediate. Backs were to the wall at some stages in that intermediate county final, a drawing game, but then really impressive then in the replay out in Lomans a couple of weeks later. But no, it was a place that Garrycastle probably didn't want to be in terms of down an intermediate, but it's great to sort of knit the club back together to win another championship and get these young players back. I was extremely impressed with a young player when we played him called Ben Donegan, number 10. He was very good against us. He won an amount of ball. He's not afraid of hard work. He's really fit, really quick. He's very good at driving and breaking that line, and I'm looking forward to seeing him playing here again against a better opposition.
Yeah, and big man in the middle of the field. We know him from playing hurling as well, and it is Keane McCarthy in the middle of the field for Garrycastle, and it'll be easy to pick him out in the red hair and the red head, but he's a fine talent as well, and he's a big man who they've needed around that middle of the field.
Yeah, he's like another David O'Shaughnessy, what they were used to having for a number of years. A big man out around the middle of the field. When you're really under pressure, just put the ball down and put it out on top of them. The good thing about Sean Brennan, the goals of Garrycastle, is he can actually go short and long. It's like you see a lot of cases throughout football at the minute where a goalkeeper is really good at one or the other. Sean Brennan is good at both. He's able to knock it 60-70 yards if he wants to, but he's also able to go for that 30-40 yard short one into a pocket where lads are making good runs. So but when they're in trouble and their backs are to the wall, you'll see that he'll put it down, and he'll put it on top of Keane McCarthy, who is a big man, well able to feel it. He's really good work rate as well. He's good, he's fit, he's athletic. But this is going to come down to the wire, this game today. Like Garrycastle forwards are very good, and I've seen Shamrocks, apart from one or two games, their defence was very solid as well. So it's going to come down to who actually gets. You might see a game coming down to who gets the luckiest of the breaks.
Yeah, but with that, for our viewers at home, we'll go through the two lineouts. We're going to start with the Mullingar Shamrocks lineout first, and their lineout with the goalkeeper number 1, Ross Caroon. Full back line: Adam Glynn is at 2, Dylan Match is the full back to the 3, and Mark Evers at 4. A half back line has Brendan O'Reilly at 5. As we alluded to, Davy Gavin, who was listed to start at 6, doesn't start, and he's been replaced by number 17, Effie Sayodi. And completing the half back line for Mullingar Shamrocks, number 7, Brian Gear. Middle of the field: Shane Ornstein wear 8, and Hill partner Dara Daly wear 9. In the half forward line, Donegan McGuire's at 10, Paddy Fagan centre half forward 11, and John O'Reilly at 12. And that other change comes where Ryan Kelly is replaced by number 19, Jordan Ward. Full forward is Dennis Caroon, he wear 14, and Dean Moore completes the Mullingar Shamrocks line-out. In Garrycastle, they line out as follows: their goalkeeper, number 1, Sean Brennan. Full back line: Jack McVeigh at 2, Jack Donoghue at 3, and Matthew Gaheen at 4. A half back line: James Dolan at 5, Mark McCallan at 6, and Gary McCallan at 7. Middle of the field: Keane McCarthy wearing 8, and Omar Beale at 9. In the half forward line: Ben Donegan at 10, Owen Monaghan, the centre half forward 11, and Cathal Mannion at 12. And the inside line: Jamie Carroll at 13, Conor Cosgrove the full forward at 14, and completing the Garrycastle line-up, number 15, Michael Monaghan. A referee for today's game, Alan Coyne. And another man I just want to mention as well, he's in the veteran stage, but he's been excellent in the last 2 games I think we covered here from Mullingar, and that's Daly in the middle of the field.
Yeah, another, well, like Keane McCarthy is going to have his heart broke by Daly, been stuck side by side with him all day. Another big man, also very athletic, well able to get up and down the field. Maybe not as young as he used to be, but he's still well able to field the ball, he's well able to attack, and he's going to put that midfield for Garrycastle under a lot of pressure. One player I'd love to mention is Conor Cosgrove and Dennis Croon, the 2 number 14s. Like, what servants these 2 lads have been to their club. 2 lads that have been through the trenches, won senior championships, have been there in good days and bad, but really lads that are stepping to the fore all the time, every time their club tugs out.
Yeah, we've seen Conor Cosgrove kicking some fabulous 2-pointers here and then, maybe in the second last round game. And another man, I'm just going to throw him out there to you, and we've seen him perform at both ends of the field, and it's number 12, Cathal Mannion. He's a wing forward. The second last game he was corner forward, and he ended up back in the goals to face a penalty that he saved. So again, talented player, he's been around the block as well. Another one is the goalkeeper from Mullingar Shamrocks, Ross Caroon, a great kicker, a 2-point kicker as well. So we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing here now, especially playing with the wind, or playing against the wind. These teams will have to be very, very disciplined and making sure they don't give away frees, because any free from 45, maybe 50 yards out, but Conor Cosgrove and Ross Groom will slap both of them, and Sean Brennan will come up and take a few off the ground too.
We're almost ready. Alan Coyne is out there with 2 midfielders, Daly and Keane McCarthy. We're going to pair off for the first time against each other. They're lying out there in the middle of the field. We see Donovan McGuire, the number 10, and Daly uses his experience that time, just nudges the big Garrycastle man out of the way and steps, leaves the ball for Shane Ormsby, and Shamrocks get the first possession over on that far side where John O'Reilly pops it inside. Dean Moore holds the possession. Shamrocks now trying to inject a little bit of pace into it. Coming forward here is the full back, Dylan Matthews over to Brian Gear. Another experienced player, seems to have got over his injuries as well. Hampered really all through the early stage of the year with a hamstring and then finger injury, but it's good to see him back. The Shamrocks go from left to right now. Dean Moore, he's taken on Mark McCallan. Mark just puts a hand on him, holds him back, and then the ball's laid out quickly. Donovan McGuire unopposed coming in here. Tottenham taking the score, holds on to it, and then brings it across. And Jordan Ward ready there to convert that opportunity, but Garrycastle caught a little bit of sleep there. A great run from Donovan McGuire.
I don't think it's Donovan McGuire started out here on the edge of the midfield for the throw-in and sort of stayed out here late and came onto the ball late. No one really marking him. Well worked. He didn't take a stupid shot with his left foot. He was very composed, laid it in, and good score from Jordan.
From the kick out, it was Garrycastle that won the breaking ball there with Ben Dunnigan. Just gives the ball back inside where it's now moved forward as far as Owen Matt and Owen. That culture, in fact, it's Michael, the brother, number 15 on that ball, with Garrycastle holding possession. Cathal Mannion gives it inside now. There's a chance for Mark McCallan to come forward. Mark, nice ball inside, just at the feet of the attacker there. Now the number 14, Conor Cosgrove, doesn't control it, and Shamrocks mop it up, and they have possession out here now with Daly. Dara says, attack in motion there. Dylan Matthews didn't just drop the ball there on the move there, but Daly is back there to support, and Effie has it now. Effie, nice little dummy inside. Ben Dunnigan is trying to close him down, but Shamrocks with Shane Ormsby go across to the left for Donovan McGuire. Fist the ball over into space, over on that far side. This time it's kicked forward there by John O'Reilly. Nice ball, and Dean Moore, he's switching corners, and this time he fancies this one as a 2-point attempt. Kicks it high, the umpires are looking at each other. No. Took them a while to make their mind up there on it, but certainly no problem with the distance on it.
No, in fairness, the umpire this side sort of wanted to give it, but the lad the far side was the right side and he waved it as wide.
Sean Brennan with the kick out. Launches out. Daly goes high, gets hand on it, breaks it down, and Shane Ormsby now trying to get by his man, and he does well. Gives a nice ball inside where the corner back coming forward there was Adams in. Adam just lost possession, and a big hit there from Donovan McGuire. It was on Cathal Mannion.
It was a big hit, but to be fair, it was sort of a big man against a small man, and unfortunately for Cathal Mannion. But now in fairness, he's up and he's back on, didn't stay down for too long and got on with it.
Yeah, free out awarded. Jack McVeigh takes it. and Garrycastle do well to hold the possession here, to have it work back here now to Jack Mullingar. Jack thrown to the ground there and the tackle there by Dennis Caroon, and another free awarded. Owen Mullingar looking around, seeing what options he has, and then has to turn around and give it back to his cornerback, Matthew Gaheen. Gaheen carries it forward, lays it back as far as Gary McCallan is very, very tight in there. Mannion is back in his own half back line. He does get it out to Mullingar. Garrycastle just going very lateral until Matthew Gaheen pops it on here now as far as the midfielder Owen Mullingar. Owen into Ben Dunnigan. Dunnigan being tackled there by Dylan Matthews. Dylan one hand back in on Dunnigan, but Dunnigan does well, holds the possession, gives it back now to Cathal Mannion again. Mannion taking on his man, and then with the left foot somehow manages to thread it in through into the direction there of Conor Cosgrove. Great defending there. I think it was Mark Heaver who reached in there and got a hand on it. Great defending, and Shamrocks on the attack here now with John O'Reilly, encouraged to go forward. John lifts it in towards Dean Moore in the corner. Dean trying to get around his man, but his man there is Mark McCallum, but he does manage to get back onto his left foot, and that's why he wanted to get on the left foot. Nice point. Dean Moore, he backed himself with a 2-pointer a couple of minutes ago and just didn't get it on target, but that time he knew what he wanted to do, got it onto his right foot and clipped the point. I am just looking back at the replay of that defensive play there. It was
brilliant
the number 4
tackle
Mark
from
Evers. A kick out from Garrycastle has gone over to the far side where Owen Mullingar gives it into Cathal Mannion. Mannion playing very, very deep. In fact, seems even that James Dolan has gone up into the half forward line where Mannion is staying in the half back line, but Garrycastle are building over on the far side where Jamie Carroll has it. Jamie goes inside. Effie looks like it was a push on the back there. Yeah, the referee has his hand in the air. Effie a little bit careless on that one.
He might have got away with the first one if he didn't go a second time at it. He sort of gave him a little nudge a second time, and that's really when the ref put his hand up. But it definitely was a free, and it's not an easy one now for Conor Cosgrove to start off on. It does suit him in terms of a left foot, but it's just not the one you like to get when you're a free taker. It's one of those.
Yeah, he's coming in, robbed a few yards, but it makes no difference. He fired it over the bar at the opening score for Garrycastle, 2-1. We're almost 6 minutes in.
Yeah, no, it's a bit tactical. Even Shamrocks are playing 3 lads up inside the small circle, and Dennis Groon has gone out, and Dean Moore and Paddy Fagan has gone inside.
Yeah, Ross Groon's first kick out doesn't go well because it's straight out to Owen Monaghan. Monaghan carries it forward, comes into the tackle there of Brian Gearan, and then he lays it off quickly to Michael Monaghan, but Michael with that shot, and it's the first wide for the Garrycastle men. An opportunity there. Not sure on what kind of an impact the wind is having. We're looking over at the flag on the 65 here on the far side of the field. It looks like it's favouring. But then you look over at, it seems to be swirling around in other places. So
it is sort of helping. It's helping Mullingar Shamrocks a bit now, and it's not a big win by any matter of means, but it's definitely helping them.
Dennis Caroon showing his great strength there to win that ball and gets the ball in over. High tackle on Dean Moore there. Matthew Gaheen can hold his hand up, but Moore was just that little bit quicker than him. He had him on the half turn there. And
he's very lucky he's not receiving some sort of a ticking or a card, because it was cynical enough now, to be fair. But one of those frees that if you were a manager on the sideline and he gave it away, you're saying, well, he took one for the team there.
Yeah.
Great ball in from Dennis Crone, won the kick out, fouled. Great ball in, good movement from Dean Moore, got onto it, fouled over the bar.
Yeah, simple football. 7.5 minutes almost on the clock. 3-1 in favour of Mullingar Shamrock. As Sean Brennan launches this one high, hanging there on Castledaly, goes high, gets the catching mark and sets an attack on straight away where Moore has it again. Trying to be closed down there and just settles it back down. Darrell attempted pass, doesn't get his intended target, and Jamie Carroll is there for Garrycastle, and they're a chance now on the turnover as they come forward. Ben Dunnigan, nice quick hands there as the two Monaghans combine this with Owen, and he gives it on now. That's Jack Dunno, he's the full back. James Dolan joining the attack as well, as is the man who started initially with the possession, is Jamie Carroll. Jamie takes on his man, trying to come inside, pops it in quickly to Donegan, and Coming now on this turn is Cathal Mannion. He's kicked it high, but he's kicked it over the bar.
Yeah, good score. It was. He gave up possession. Castledaly out here around the middle of the field just give up a bit of a cheap possession. I think Brendan Riley was over the far side of the field. He could have just put his foot through the ball and tried to kick it over the far side of the field. Instead, tried to give a short one, and unfortunately, it was one of those things where he just gave it away, and it just ended up in the score.
And the kick out is long down the centre this time, and Castledaly gets onto the breaking ball, and Shane Ornsby now coming to join the attack. Ornsby looked up, gives a nice quick ball into Paddy Fagan. Paddy, his first real opportunity to get a shot in, but not what he hoped for.
No, it was a poor effort in the end from someone from Paddy's ability. He should be taking that score, but it was very well won. Dennis Croon didn't. It was sort of nearly a planned move. Dennis Croon didn't even jump for it, just let it run through, and Castledaly was onto it, laid it off to Ormsby into Paddy, and just a poor miss from a player of his standard.
Yeah, tangling legs over there on the far side as Keane McCarthy and Castledaly were going to contest that kick out. It is the Garrycastle man who's fouled. It's going to be a free. Jack McVeigh is over there ready to take it, looking for somebody, and then just slips it forward as far as Ben Donegan. Ben holds the possession, spins away from the tackle there of John O'Reilly, has a little bit of time now to look up, see what he has ahead of him. One man he has is Owen Monaghan, very close to the sideline. Good defending there by Brian Gear, and just forces the Garrycastle man to go back out, and might work still for Garrycastle. There's now a little bit of space here and a chance for Gary McCannon to come forward. Gives the ball inside where Jamie Carroll has come across into this left corner. He's trying to take on Adams in. Adam does very, very well. Almost got the possession away, and then forces the Garrycastle man to come back out the field. Cathal Mannion has it again. Been tackled by Brendan Riley and then fouled by Brendan Riley as the ball was intercepted there by Effie, but it is going to be free. Now let's see. Sean Brennan, Alan, you said it. He's making his way up to take this one. It's going to be a 2-point attempt.
Yeah, no, he's quite good at them as well. We'll see how big the wind is here now. He's after making it. He won't be too happy with Michael Monaghan if he went short after coming up all that way.
Yeah, of course, it's a good tactic playing against the wind as well, Alan, because it kills the clock a little bit as well. 3-2 for Shamrocks. We're almost 11 minutes in, but it wouldn't be the first time we've seen this man landing a 2-pointer coming forward. Fires it in now. Has he got enough for it? He has indeed.
Great score.
Great kick there by the goalkeeper, Sean Brennan.
Yeah, no, a super score, and that's a tough kick. It's not an easy kick. It was halfway between midfield, the centre of the pitch, and the sideline on the 45, and struck it very, very well. Wind didn't really affect it that much either.
Ross Caroon kicking it out from Mullingar. Ross will be hoping he gets the same kind of opportunities here, but his kick out this time broken there by James Dolan. Down to a teammate then, and Garrycastle set up again. Gary McCallan gets an opportunity to come forward. Halfway between 45 and 65, still holds possession. Has support runner coming over on the far side, Jack Mulvehill. Jack inside to Ben Donegan. Ben into a little bit of space. Got away from my Keane McCarthy's inside if he wants to use him. But Ben decides he'll take his own score. Good decision there by the number 10. And you mentioned him, he's a talented footballer. He's starting to settle into this Garrycastle team.
Yeah, he's very, very good. I thought I was very impressed with him against us. That's why I was saying I'd love to see him in a team up against a team that's of better quality than ourselves. And he's after starting really, really well. Good on the ball. He did a free, even if he didn't put that over the bar as a free in. So he's after starting well.
Kick out again from Ross Caroon is long over the top. There it goes, but Jack Mulvehill sweeps back, gets possession, has that man Donegan in a little bit of space here. He's just ambling forward. He's very close to the sideline. Needs to get possession away, and my own Monaghan offers support there. Right back on his own 65-metre line. And a chance for Garrycastle to come forward again. Jamie Carroll laid us on to now Owen Monaghan. Owen is looking up, seeing what pass can he pick out, but unfortunately he finds a black jersey there. Effie, the centre half back, Effie Sayodi, and Mullingar win possession back now. Brian Gear, and Brian just holds that possession, is forced to go back into his own 45. But Shamrocks do very well. And Dennis Croon with a lovely little ball over the top. It's coming forward in the space is Mark Evers. Mark gives it inside. We're gearing now. And towards the 45. Thought about taking on the shot. Comes into the tackle. Holds the possession again. Plenty of black jerseys over there. One of them is Paddy Fagan. Paddy. Huge pace from the centre half forward. Goes around through the free. Knew exactly what he wanted there, Alan. Goes around.
Yeah, no, it was well worked. He wanted to draw the free, and unfortunately for Jack Donoghue, he sort of fell for Bo's hand and pull him down when he did have a bit of company coming over to give him a help out. But I see Dennis Croon doesn't look good here now in the middle of the field. He's gone down. It nearly looks like a problem with his calf or his Achilles, and he's after getting treatment there for the last couple of minutes, and it's he doesn't look like he'll let us running too freely.
Yeah. In the meantime, Dean Moore has clipped over his second free. 3 points of the 4 Shamrocks coming from the boot of their number 15 as Sean Brennan restarts it again with the kick out over on the far side. Gathered very well over there by Donnacha Maguire. Donnacha takes it quickly. Chance here now for Shane Ormsby. Ormsby gets the run there from Brendan Riley. Brendan driving forward. He gave the call where he wanted it. Gives the fisted ball into Paddy Fagan. Paddy carrying forward, just drops the ball and close to taking it off the ground. Here he manages to loop back around, but with the left foot, it's hanging there. Sean Brennan loses the cap there as he comes out, anxious to keep that one in play, and now trying to start an attack here with Mark McCallan.
Yeah, it was a poor effort there from Paddy. There wasn't much conviction in the shot. He probably got lucky to get away with picking the ball off the ground, I thought, but here comes Garrycastle again.
Yeah, Lara Daly just stops the run there of Owen Mulvey. The referee has his hand in the air, but Garrycastle continue on here with Keane McCarthy. McCarthy on now to Cathal Mannion again. Mannion just holds it and pops it back there as far as Michael Monaghan. Michael, low ball, very close to the sideline to Owen Monaghan. Owen trying to get out of that corner, does very, very well. And Michael is coming on in support and just got a little nudge, but I think the referee had seen it. He got the shot away, but the referee seen the push on the back there on the number 15, and he's going to bring it back for a free and a very scoreable opportunity here.
It was a very silly free to give away. If you're going to try and put a bit of pressure on him, get a sort of a nudge on him, don't pull him back. And if he's good enough to kick it over the bar, like you'd expect all free takers at this stage in the championship are able to score all these. But if he's going to put it over, try and get him to do it from play where you can put a bit of pressure on him.
Yeah, Michael Monaghan, his first attempt from a free, the 13-metre line. Comes forward and makes no mistake, clips down over the bar. Point number 6 for Garrycastle. The lead now 6 points to 4 as the clock just gone over the 16th minute.
Still need the game to burst into life a bit here, Ray. It's just dominated with half backs, just winning ball, driving forward, not much pressure being put on them.
Yeah, kick out again. Darragh Daly felt he was pushing the back, but the ball that he brought down was nicely for Donnacha Maguire. And John O'Reilly under a bit of pressure over there on the far side. Maybe a little bit lucky to get the free there. When Shamrocks hold the possession, Dylan Matthews now, he's coming forward with it. Referee going back and dropped his pen or something there, but he's gone back to it anyway. Paddy Caroon, nice ball into Dylan Matthews. Matthews, he's a full back with the left foot.
Oh, wide. The referee he must have dropped his whistle. I don't think you could turn your back to the play the way he turned it unless it was a whistle that he dropped. So he got back and got enough in time. But another sort of Shamrocks are taking these shots that are just not putting any real conviction in them. He shot there under a lot of pressure. And they're giving off short kickouts to Garrycastle the whole time as well. They need to push up on these half backs, especially when you're playing with the wind. You don't want Garrycastle to build any momentum from the back.
Yeah, James Dolan is carrying it forward there, dictating where he wants players to run. And Cathal Mannion has it again, but he's been closed down well. But Cathal from a very difficult angle.
A good score.
Great score. It's his second one of the game.
Yeah, no, a super score. He didn't really have any other option. He sort of ran down a blind alley and then just said, I'm going to have a go here, and really had a go.
Yeah, lovely score, 7-4. Just looking down below us, Alan, you mentioned it earlier about Dennis Caroon. It looks like there's a sub coming in, Lachlan Smith. Now he's not going to get in because the ball has been kicked out. Drops down as James Dolan sees the breaking ball, gathers it up and moves it on to Gary McCallan. We'll just wait and see what that change will be, but certainly Lachlan Smith is about to be introduced here. But Ben Dunnigan driving forward, you know, players left and right, and one was Michael Monaghan, back to Keane McCarthy, Solon the forward, no one's just closing down, he fancies the shot there, nice dummy there, holds the possession, back to Mannion again, Mannion looks up, a beautiful ball inside where Jimmy Carroll's coming in, oh Jamie, he didn't get it over the bar. I actually thought it was gone wide there because he
in fairness, I think he sort of just went to put it over the bar. He didn't look like he was going for a goal, did he? He just sort of looked like he was happy enough to tap it over the bar. He sort of a little bit, maybe he was a little bit annoyed with himself down there, but massive loss for Mullingar Shamrocks here with Dennis Croon having to go off. Yeah. He's sort of their stalwart of the team for the last number of years, and so even his demanding of standards off the rest of his teammates is a big thing, even to have him gone off the field.
Yeah, 8-4, he's side trail as he goes off, and Garrycastle win the kick out, but good tracking and tackling there by the Shamrocks men. They have the possession back now as Effie tries to drive forward. A couple of Garrycastle men slowing him down, and then coming onto the play there was Shane Orphy. It might still work as Dylan Matthews is still going forward. Lovely play from Dylan, and he couldn't just get the control on it, but he managed to shovel pass it out as far as Dean Moore, who rewards the full back.
Tell you what, was really good hands from he didn't really gather it up full time from Dylan Matthews, but he sort of lovely little flick onto Dean Moore. But the thing about here is Shamrocks have that many big men around the middle of the field. They should be loving the fact that these balls are going long instead of letting them go short.
Yeah, James Nolan did very, very well to keep that ball away from the possession of the Shamrocks men, and then as Michael Monaghan stepped in there, he gets the free, and free is taken quickly there, and Gary McCallan sets up this attack. Shamrocks almost guilty of an infringement of only 2 up, but they get the players back, but Ben Dunnigan is carrying this ball forward, and now Cathal with the left foot. He more time that time than he had from the couple of scores that he got, but just can't get it on target with the left foot.
Yeah, he sort of probably had nearly too much time. He had lots of time to settle himself and get a good strike at, but he didn't judge the winch too well, and unfortunately just tail out for Garrycastle's point of view. But as I was saying, Shamrock should be just trying their level best. They've real big men around the middle, and I don't understand why they're not just pumping it long and hoping that they can get one of the big lads onto it.
Yeah, they work this and well around the middle. Darren Daly, lovely ball out to front. Brendan Riley in space. Now Donovan Guire is allowed to carry it forward, and everybody just leaves him alone as he keeps going in now. Can he get a bit of support? He has it from Jordy Ward. Jordy with his second point. That's the second time today that Donovan Guire has ghosted in there. Everybody seemed to leave him for each other, who's going to tackle him, and next thing he found himself in space.
He's been impressive. First 21 minutes, Donovan Maguire, to be fair, he's got on loads of ball, he's driving forward, he's back helping defence, he's up forward as well, so I've been very impressed with him so far.
Sean Brennan has rifled this one out over to the far side, well gathered out there again by John O'Reilly. John, inside it goes here now. In fact, that's John O'Reilly with it now, and Larkin Smith, the latest man to get on it. Larkin, nice little ball over to the far side where Brian Kieran has Smith running on into a little bit of space, comes on to him, he tries to get onto his left foot, blocked from doing that momentarily, but he was well, he clips it in, and a nice goal from Larkin Smith. Larkin been down by injuries for the last while on him, but nice sub to be able to bring in at this stage as well.
He gave a couple of 1-2s there and got back and onto the end of it. He always wanted to get back onto his left, and Garrycastle just couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. Good score though. He's like they're sort of like for like in a way in terms of experience, but they'd nearly love to have the two of them on the pitch in the last 10 minutes of a match.
Kick out, driven out there into the centre, is broken down on the breaking ball. It's Cathal Mannion. He almost soccer style down along the line it goes. Jack Mulvihill moves in that little bit further, but the ball won there by Mark Evers, and Mark slides in, but he's clearance straight to a red jersey, and Garrycastle come on the attack again here with Owen Mulvihill on now to James Dolan. James just looks up, looking to see has he a runner inside. He's trying to pick out the run there of Keane McCarthy, but credit to the goalkeeper.
No, he read it well, the goalie. He was on his toes. He saw Keane McCarthy going in over the top, and he was off long before the ball was even kicked.
Yeah, good play there from John O'Reilly to Donovan Guire, and Adam Glynn now has a chance to come forward as Dylan Matthews, the number 2 and the number 3. Alan, numbers count for very, very little in the modern game.
Well, number 3 hasn't been spent much time in the full back line this game.
Shane Ormsby, 2-point attempt, but not the right option.
No, he's after taking 2 or 3 very sort of nearly like a young fella that's only up a couple of years. There were very, very silly decisions to have a goal from there. He needs to play. He had a couple of lads with him there in support. He needs to be playing that ball around a bit instead of shooting off his weaker foot from sort of impossible angles.
Yeah, I've seen the reaction of his manager, Michael Burke, down below, and that one going wide and the kick out. James Doran uses all his experience there just to get that ball onto him on the run, but ball inside then. Oh.
He did. You're talking about that kick out there, James Doran. He did use all of his experience. He sort of used his hips to lean into Shane Ormsby and make sure that the ball ran through, but that was a soft enough free now, Ray. I thought he got in a really good tackle.
Yeah, it was Mark.
A really good tackle there. I think it was
Mark Evers again.
Mark Evers again. He's been absolutely excellent so far in this game.
Yeah.
We'll see it here now in the replay in a second, Ray. He probably did give a nudge in the back as well, so it's a good call, a referee, to be fair.
2-point attempt. Sean Brandon has gone up to kick it. He's about 3 or 4 metres in from the sideline. Right-footed, kept it in play. It's gone over to the far side nicely for Cathal Mannion, and Cathal is on the turn, but he's disgusted with himself because he fancied that one. It was on his left foot. He had time, but then off from Mullingar 8-7.
Yeah, no, it's another one of those. They're playing against that slight breeze, and Sean Brennan came up. He's after wasting maybe a minute and a half off the clock to get up there, and they still got a shot off, but unfortunately it just didn't go over.
Kick out again for Ross Caroon. Ross right foot. He's looking with the 2 big men. Now, I honestly don't know how the referee can decide it, because it was 6 of one, half a dozen the other, but he decided that it was in fact the Mullingar Shamrocks man that was doing the foul in that time, and it's a free that to Garrycastle. It's moved in now to Michael Murtagh. Anyway, there's enough of us in the press box. We won't make a comment on that one, but it's a free for Mullingar man. Looked like there was a push on Dean Moore there as the ball is half cleared, but only as far as Larkin Smith. Larkin back here to Moore again. Moore is looking up to see if there's anyone available inside. Instead he uses Brian Gearan on the run. Gearan looks up. A lot of defenders there in front of him. Has to go back to Donegal Maguire. Maguire into Smith. And on the run there is Brendan Riley. Wasn't the best pass in the world, but Shamrocks have it again. Looked like it was a foul there, but Shane Ormsby is going to take this shot on. Another wide.
Yeah, no, another wide for Shane Ormsby as well. It was it could have been a free in now to be as well. I thought that the full back Dylan Matthews was pulled back there as he was going through, but at the same time it was just bad decision making from Shane Ormsby there.
Kick out from Sean Brandon has worked out short over on that far side. He allowed him to carry it right into the Mullingar half the field. And Donegan and just leaves it off here now. In fact, it's Owen Mulvehill that was carrying that one for Mulvehill. On now to McCarthy. McCarthy pops one in over the top. It is Donegan that's on it here now. Good defending there by the Shamrocks men, because Donegan was trying to look around and see what options he had, but they got the black jerseys in around, and eventually Larkin Smith is back there and a great free to be won there and trying to get away, and in fact referee is actually going to hold the play up.
I think he's going to bring the free up as well. I think as he was going forward for the 50 metres, he just noticed the man on the ground, so he blew his whistle. Yeah, look, he's coming up to that 50 metres.
He's still bringing it forward. This free fired in. It was on the 65 for Garrycastle defence, but it's fired in to Dean Moore. Moore very well to get it, and has Paddy Fagan supporting him over there. Fagan trying to come back around on his right foot. Does very, very well to hold that possession, then just gives it back. Shamrocks with a couple of players spare on this side. One of them is Donegal Maguire. Donegal waits for it, and Jimmy Dolan doesn't need a second invite to step in and take it at 10. James, his touch lets him down there, and Dara Daly steps in, gets the free, but play is allowed to go on. Shane Ormsby on now to Larkin Smith. Smith with the left foot. He's gone route one. Can Shamrocks get into the sun there? You defended there by Matthew Caheen there. That was a tricky ball. Matthew was being fouled, but the referee allows the play to go on as Cian McCarthy carries the ball out in defence. Garrycastle crossing their own 45 here. Coming forward, it's the centre back, it's Mark McCallan. Mark, dropping the shoulder there, gets away from Larkin Smith as a man making a run down in front of him, but went short there, and Effie does very well, stepped in, wins the possession back there, but Brendan Riley is under pressure here now, and he's forced off the ball, and the ball is gone. Now let's see. I'm not sure. A little bit of confusion here.
No, it has to be Shamrock's ball. It was. It has to be. Sure, he rolled out over the sideline with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, linesman seems to be indicating that, Alan.
Has to be Shamrock's ball.
Yeah. When he didn't give the free, it had to be.
It was possibly a free now, but if he didn't give a free, it has to be Shamrock's ball.
Yeah, it is. Castledaly takes it, goes short with it, and takes the return, but the line is almost like a defender there, because he was under pressure there, and a little bit unorthodox with the hand pass, but it would end up going out over the sideline, and possession is back with Garrycastle now with Gary McCallan. Gary. Ben Donegan making the dummy run, taking the player away from McCallan as he on the 45, and the Shamrocks then pops it into Ben Donegan. Ben, he fancied this one off the left foot, drops the shoulder, came in, point number 2 from Ben Donegan.
Yeah, it's a good score off of his weaker left foot as well, but I just don't understand why Shamrocks aren't pushing up on these men. They're letting McCallan, the two McCallans and James Dolan just bring the game to them. They're not putting any pressure on them coming out with the ball. It doesn't make sense at the moment.
9-7 as we hit the 30 minutes on the clock. Didn't hear any call yet for additional time, and this kick out makes its way right into Dean Moore. Dean coming forward. Paddy Fagan has made a run out toward him, and I said he goes inside to Larkin Smith. Larkin with the left foot. He fires in. Is it going to stay in? I don't think it is. Curled that one.
Another wide there was. I think the ball was on into Paddy Fagan inside the zone as well. It's. Very impressed with Dean Moore so far. He's winning every single ball that goes into him. He's out in front. He's making sure that he wins it. He's using it very, very well, and always wants it. He's nothing better than when you're playing out the field and you have a lad inside that wants the ball all the time.
Sean Brennan's kick out, we see it hanging up in the air and broken down there well by Shane Ormsby, and picked up there by Brian Gear. Brian looks like he was being fouled, but Effie came forward, and Effie's on the attack again here, marauding forward. Back now to Paddy Fagan. Can Paddy guide this one in? And he does indeed, gets it over the mark. He had a couple of those kind of attempts during the half. That time he got it
Sean
inside
Brennan
the upper.
nearly, it was one of those
got a little bit
that
of
he got a little bit of a fright.
He
He thought it was going to drop short and into the net, but no, good score, and really good when Shamrocks get their half backs to attack. They need more out of Brian Gearan as well. They need more going forward from Brian. If they get more going forward from him, he's their county player. He's the lad that should be taking the game to Garrycastle, and they're just not getting quite as much out of him as they should be.
Yeah, Alan Coyne, the referee, without any call for additional time, has blown the half-time whistle. Just about a minute and a half, I think it was. But it's been even, Alan, 9 points to 8. You know, still anybody's game here. Remember, it's knockout football. One of these seasons is going to end at the end of this one, so there's so much on the line, and I think it has been tight, it has been tough, but you know, some good score taken, and still very, very much up in the air who's going to come out victorious here.
Well, listen, if you were going into the dressing rooms right now, you'd be you'd be happier if you were in Garrycastle's dressing room, the Mullingar Shamrocks, because they're going to play whatever bit of a wind is there, they're going to play with it. They're playing the better football, they're using the ball an awful lot better than Shamrocks are, and if Shamrocks are going to make sure that they get through to the semi-final of the championship this year, they're going to have to start making better decisions up in the latter third of the field.
Yeah, 6 wides to 3 from Mullingar. It's not the stat that they want to be in ahead in, but it just trailing by that solitary point. 9 points to 8. Myself and Alan, we're going to take a break here on the commentary, but we'll be back in good time for the second half. Go and put on the kettle there, get a quick cup of tea or whatever. We'll be back. You won't miss a minute of the action.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Sevens Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusick Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay, Murtagh, Precast.
You're welcome back here to TG Cusick Park, where both sides are back out on the pitch. 9-8, Alan, but I'm looking over the scoreboard, and more important, I'm looking at the flags above the scoreboard, and certainly going to be well in Garrycastle's favour in the second half.
Yeah, and it seems to have picked up. It's picked up a bit by the looks of things, but yeah, Shamrocks just have to make sure that they die with their boots on here now, and if they can do that, they can get themselves back into this game, because I know it's only a 1 point lead for Garrycastle, but at the same time it's one of those that is probably a 4 or 5 point lead in the way that they're going.
Yeah, Darrell goes high on the throw in, does very well, knocks it down now, and they're on the attack. Larkin looks up, pops it into the corner where Jordan Ward has it. Ward in over the top to Daly again. They try to recycle it. Ward, no need to take a shot on from there. He gets it back up. Brian Gear has lost that ball in the sun, but Ben Dunnigan didn't. He stepped in, kept his eye on it, and gets the possession over it. Dunnigan has been excellent in this opening half. He's carrying this one forward. Good tracking back there by Brian Gear. Just got the hand in, prevents Gary Castleman from making any more progress, but they hold that possession. Ball is fisted inside now for Jamie Carroll. 1 point in the opening half has been quiet up to now. Cathal Mannion with the possession from just outside the D. Donegan sells a dummy there, but it wasn't bought there by Brian Gearan. Gearan just dove in and got a hand on it, and Shamrocks turn possession over here now. There's a chance for John O'Reilly to go forward. John gives it inside here where Mark Heaver, he's come forward, and Effie with the ball. Effie, he'd look at every opportunity to get forward. He's driving in here, does well, gives it in to Paddy Fagan. Paddy on the loop, fires it in. It's hanging, and it's gone over the bar.
Yeah, good score and really well worked. And it was one of those, Ben Donegan just got caught between, do I want to solo this or do I want to shoot? And he probably should have pulled the trigger, and it was great tackle. It was Brian Gearan that got in a great tackle. Dispossessed, but Effie was the one to pick up the break of ball, and he was the one to give the last pass for the score as well.
Yeah, lovely kick from Paddy Fagan, ties it up at 9. The player pushing the back there. Keane McCarthy, he knew he was caught there on that one. Just a little nudge. Darrell Daly free for Mullingar Shamrocks. Donnacha Maguire has possession, gives it back here now to Mark Evers. Mark on his own 65. Very reluctant to go forward, but no one coming in to close him down. So eventually Cathal Mannion makes his mind up for him, and he ships it across to Shane Ormsby, and Ormsby on to Gearan again. Alan called it just before half time. They need to get more out of Brian Gearan. He's driving forward here now with possession. Got a hand into the face there, just holds the possession. Shamrocks nice and slick. Darrell Daly on to Larkin Smith now, and a chance for Donnacha Maguire. Maguire has a man over the far side, it's Brian Gearan, but he was feeling sorry for himself, but now he has to come back up and ball into Donnacha Maguire, gives it inside as far as Jordan Ward. Ward pops it back out again. Shamrock started the second half, the better of the two, as Brian Gearan in now to Mark Evers, making sure that there is 3 men back. Dylan Matthews gets the signal to go forward as Brian Gearan steps back in. Evers has the possession. Dean Moore is trying to get into a little bit of space. Paddy Fagan offers it. Now Matthews comes forward. Nice ball inside to Ormsby. Ormsby back to Matthews again. Right down the centre he goes. Keeps. Shot from Dylan Matthews off the crossbar. And I think it went off. Did it go off the foot of
shot.
one of the Mullingar Shamrocks?
What a shot, and it came back, and I think it went off Owen Monaghan maybe and went out for a 45, but it was very, very unlucky not to score a goal. It was a rasper of a shot, hit the crossbar, and I'm nearly sure it hit Owen Mulveal. I could be wrong. They were working it well, they worked it really, really well, and the space opened up, and I tell you what, there's no shortage of pace in Dylan Matthews. He just goes through here, ball has slipped to him, he opens up the whole defence. He takes a shot, and it was it was actually Jack Donoghue. Jack Donoghue had the ball knocked off now for 45. So it gives Ross Croon his first chance to have a goal here from a 40.
And Joanna, the ball could have gone anywhere off Jack Donoghue. I don't think he knew very, very little about it.
No, could have went anywhere. Garrycastle were very lucky there. They were just Shamrocks were patient, then they just opened them up.
Ross Caroon, he's come forward.
Right.
And Sean Brennan can do it at one end. Ross Caroon can show he can do it as well. Lovely kick, his first opportunity of a kick. makes no mistake, he nails it, and Shamrocks back in the lead, 10 points to 9. We're just 4.5 minutes into the second half. But Dylan Matthews, that's not the first time we've seen him coming forward on, and he's really been driving on here at every opportunity. That time the whole defence opened up like the Red Sea for him. Kick out, Dara Daly and John O'Reilly almost got in each other's way. Dara Daly is very nice. He thought he might even know, but he didn't think the ball was on him. Very, very close.
No, it was very close. It's very hard to tell. Mickey, in fairness to Mickey Danny, he doesn't make too many mistakes, and he was up with the play and he was on the line. Now, I'm not too sure whether it was out, but Mick doesn't make too many mistakes.
Yeah, and Garrycastle have the line ball taken, and they work it inside now. Jamie Carroll, I think he just lost him in the sun there for a second, but kept his eye on it. Has the possession back now as far as Ben Donegan. Ben, he can kick with the left foot. He's taken on Dylan Matthews. Matthews is absolutely superb there. Just kept his eye on the ball as it went up in the air and just knocked it away from him on the free. Mark Evers.
He should have let him go off there. It was knocked away by the Garrycastle man. He should have let him just take it and solo on from where he was.
Larkin Smith put under severe pressure there and a bad kick there, and now referee Dylan Matthews, and now the referee is letting things go because it's quickly taken in as far as Owen Monaghan.
White ball.
The angle there got very tight. The more he carried it forward there, and he did pull the trigger, but it's got just a nice nudge at the right time.
He should have took the score, though. He was never going to. It was going to be a very opportunist goal if he did get it, and he should have took the score. He should have took the score earlier, Ray. When he got first, pulled over the bar, off you go. It's going to be hard for Shamrocks to pull back some of these scores against that win, but at the same time, he should have took that, just put over the bar, draw game, off we go. We still have the win.
Yeah, kick out. Dara Daly, outstanding again. Great strength there as well as everything else. To win that kick out, gets fouled. In fact, that's in the mark and takes it quickly back to Adam Glenn and moves it on now, and a chance for Brian Geared. Come forward, a lot of space ahead of him, and he'll drive into it. Still going, trying to get away from Jamie Carroll. Pops it on for Dean Moore. Dean with the right foot, he fires it in. It's strong, but I think that one is not going to trouble on the scoreboard man. That one just to the right and wide.
Yeah, first poor decision that Dean Perry has made in the whole match. But once again, like, this is where Shamrocks just need to not let Garrycastle go short. Make sure that they put it out there and let them contest around the middle, because they're unbelievably good in the air.
Sean Brennan picks out a nice kick out again, and Mangan is frustrated because just exactly what he said. They allowed them to get that short one away and come on the attack now with Owen Mulvihill over on that far side. Mulvihill lays it off to Jamie Carroll, and Carroll on now as far as Gary McCallan. McCallan comes across into the centre, just pops it back now, and Cathal Mannion coming forward here. He has Jack Mulvihill if he wants to use him. Instead goes inside to Jimmy Dolan. Jimmy Dolan, 2-point attempt, and again James Dolan out of nowhere just stepped forward, and I think we also seen the effect of the win on that one, Anna, because he had absolutely no problem making the distance with that one, but a great kick.
No, that's one of those things that you just can't leave someone of the calibre of James Dolan just in that area take a shot. Super score. Garrycastle know what they're doing. They're really, really, really organised, and that's what I'm saying about Shamrocks. Another ball where they can just get it in quick and up in the air and hope to win it. But good play from Garrycastle so far.
Shane Ormsby did very well to get that one inside as far as. Great finish.
Number 12.
I think it's John O'Reilly that finished it. But Alan, we're just going to say it was great fielding there by Shane Ormsby. Got it into Paddy Fagan, and Paddy Fagan with the man.
No, it's number 5, Red, wing back.
The other brother, it's Brendan Riley that finishes it. First goal of the game is a crucial one. 1-10 now to Mullingar. Shamrocks with 11 points for Garrycastle. This time they do force him to go along with it. Ball broken down, it's on the ground, dirty ball. Who's going to win it? It's Garrycastle, Jack Mulvihill. Jack being forced back. Dean Moore trying to put pressure on, but lovely little flick away there by, I think it was Mark McCallan, gets the ball to a teammate, and now Gary McCallan has a chance to come forward. Garrycastle trailing by 2, one man inside. They try and isolate him. High ball in, Dylan Matthews goes high. Dylan takes the ball to the ground, and the two players, I think neither of them knew where the ball was. So
No, it was a brilliant tackle from Dylan Matthews. I've been very impressed with him so far. He ended up. Owen Monaghan was sort of in there if he had got it, but a great tackle and dispossessed him. And I think Owen was trying to bite the free then.
yeah, Shamrocks get the possession. They come down and move it out quickly through the hands. Ormsby had the opportunity to go right there, but then gets fouled. Taken quickly, the Shamrocks driving forward again. The goal scorer, Brendan Riley, lays it off, and the shot comes in. I think
Dean Moore again, yeah.
That's point number 5 for Dean Moore. He's been absolutely outstanding on it throughout the game.
But yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, it was Brendan O'Reilly that was driving forward, sort of bringing back memories of his father years ago, Mickey, who was very deadly in terms of being inside that 14. He didn't miss too many chances, and Brendan drove forward for the goal. But he also set up that score, and he probably, like all real good wing backs, if you're forward, scoring forward is looking for that ball. If you're scoring forward is looking for that ball, you give it to him, and Dean Moore did the rest.
Jason Nugent has just been introduced here in place of Owen Monaghan. Jason suffered a knee injury here in one of the group games, so nice to see him back from the short kick out.
Yeah, a very different forward now for Dylan Matthews to contend with. Jason Nugent is a very tricky young man, and unfortunately for him, got a bad injury in the first or second round of the championship this year. And I think this could be his first game back. He might have played a few minutes last week, I'm not sure, but he's going to see the other side of Dylan Matthews now, whether he can mark a small nippy lad that's in corner forward.
Yeah, good to see Nugent back. Mullingar mightn't like to see him, but it is good to see a player of his quality back on the field. But we're 11.5 minutes into the second half, 1-11 to Mullingar Shamrocks, 11 points for Garrycastle. Conor Cosgrove has been very quiet in this game so far. He's on the ball and gives out to Gaheen to Carroll. Carroll now to Ben Dunnigan. Ben, fisted ball across into the centre, where there's a chance for Cotamania for 2 points to get the shot in. No real pressure on him at that time. No problem with the distance, just a problem with the accuracy there.
Yeah, but Shamrocks need to push up on that. You can't be giving players of that calibre chances from at the top of the D in the dead centre of the pitch. They will eventually punish you if you don't push out. But no, listen, I'm very impressed with both teams here now so far in this half. They're really going at it here now, and we're starting to get a good encounter here, eh?
Yeah, Ross Caroon launched it out. That big man Ormsby goes high. Shane took that mark and just ruins everything there with giving possession away here now. There's a chance for Garrycastle to punish them. Mannion driving forward now. First chance for the sub. Jason Nugent to get involved. Comes inside, trying to get away from a couple of players and shoot. And what an introduction. Oh, what a score from the man just introduced. But Shamrocks will look back and rule the pass with Shane Ormsby. But Nugent, you mentioned it, Alan, a different kettle of fish to mark for Dylan Matthews in there. He came in. He's like a striker in soccer. He knows how to get the goals, and that was a clinical finish to the bottom corner, knocking the Ross Caroon.
Yeah, no, it was a really good finish and a good ball in. But unfortunately for Shamrocks, he put up his hand. He shouldn't have put up his hand for the free. He just gave away the ball in the real wrong place at the wrong time.
Brian Gearan is on the attack here, as is Mark Evers. Mark just slipped there for a second, manages to get it back to Dean Moore. Moore with the shot. Is it going to stay in play? No one's contested. Ball gone out over the end line and wide. But we're tied on 1-11 apiece. I think we might be looking for clarification whether this game goes to extra time or not.
Well, not too sure now,
Not too sure, but it may be something we have to send somebody away to try and find out. But we'll watch. There's still a lot of time to go on it yet. Kick out from Sean Brennan. Uncharacteristic from him there, intercepted there by Dean Moore, and Dean immediately calls for the goalkeeper Ross Caroon to come forward and an opportunity for a 2-point attempt.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm more than myself. I know how difficult kickouts are at this stage of the year, and it's just one of those that he just underhit it, and it was well cut out by Dean Moore and was fouled, and it just gives Ross Caroon that chance to put two between them again.
Yeah, he's just outside the 45 now.
Score is wrong on your VTV, Ray. It says 110 to 111. It's actually 111 apiece.
Yeah. Ross Caroon will be trying to add to that now. He's going to kick to it about 46 metres on it. Puts them right boot through it. It's a lovely kick.
Oh, brilliant strike, Ray. First time really seeing him take a strike. I've heard all about him taking frees off the ground. First time I've seen him taking one against the wind as such. I've seen him taking a few with the wind, but that's the first time that was really, really difficult one that he really just popped it over.
Yeah, we've seen him here in one of the round group games. I think he scored something like 7 points, and Brian Gearan goes high there, gets the mark, takes it quickly on to John Riley. John comes forward, pops into Dean Moore. Moore takes it on the spin. Effie's trying to make a run from him. He has Daly if he needs. Instead, he just goes across into the centre where Donald Maguire has it. A lot of these Mullingar Shamrocks, young players coming of age here now to see that. You know, it's knockout football. And Donald Maguire and Shane Ormsby have been excellent. Paddy Fagan's coming in with that ball, and Paddy draws the foul.
He was lucky there, Ray. He took a lot of steps to that ball before he was dragged down, and I would say that could have been very easily a free out, where he could have been done for over carrying. But at the same time, it's a free in now. I see Ross Caroon is coming up, but he's been sent back by Dean Moore. Dean Moore's going to have a go at this himself.
I think it's only a 1 point attempt, Alan. Just can't see exactly from the arc, but I think it looks like it is inside it. So, you know, the good thing about the 2 points, Alan, you know, Garrycastle got the goal, but if Dean Moore can respond here with a point, they have the 3 points back again with 2 scores. Dean with the left foot curls it in, and they nod to each other. Dean on target.
He was right to tell Ross to go back.
Yeah, uses his experience there.
But you can't be a forward, especially a free taker, with loads of confidence, and that's why he has at the minute. You can see it in his shooting. There's nothing dropping short where he's afraid to kick it too hard. He's well able to give it a go, and it's always good when you get a free like that, and the free taker's able to go over with his wrong foot and both over the bar.
Substitution for Garrycastle, number 13, Jamie Carroll, is replaced by number 20, Andrew Monaghan.
Switch there as Jamie Carroll makes his way off, and watching the linesman there, he wanted to make sure that from the kick out we'll keep going, because Omar Vihal made a great catch. Takes it quickly inside to Matthew Gaheen. Gaheen on to Cathal Mannion. Mannion, ambitious ball over to the far side. Shane Ormsby, he just came thundering in, put his name on that ball and wins it back. And Effie now trying to come out. Effie goes into the tackle. Possession taken from as the ball is given in quickly now. Chance for Garrycastle trying to get in. There's a lot of black jerseys in around. There's a tug there now. He's saying it's inside the large parallelogram. The referee, and don't think he's going to agree with him.
It was a tight call now, Ray. It was.
See, can we get a look on it?
But it was Shamrocks again, sort of coming out with the ball, getting caught in possession. Instead of just giving a half quick, got caught in possession, got turned over after a brilliant turnover from Shane Ormsby. Really got back, brave, won it, gave it to Effie, just got turned over. But I'm not too sure we're going to see a replay here now in a second, Ray. It was a great ball in from Michael Monaghan, Cathal Mannion, sorry, probably just outside.
Yeah, ball is tipped over the bar. Michael Monaghan, he certainly thought he was inside it,
but it was very close now. It could have went either way, but it's very, very close.
Yeah,
I can see why Gary Dolan and his management team feel aggrieved.
Great field in the centre there by Brian Gearan again, and
don't know what's going on here, Ray.
Yeah, well, I think he tried to take it quickly, but it wasn't a foul, it was just a mark, so he had to come back and take it. But anyway, we're underway again. Daly has possession with Brendan Riley, steaming up along that right hand side for him. Daly looks up, tries to get it inside, the ball is knocked down, might break here kindly to John O'Reilly, and John with the snapshot, that's his first score. We credited him with the goal earlier on, but it was his brother Brendan who got him on the breaking ball that time. John O'Reilly, quick as a flash,
it was
over the bar.
It was a poor ball in, but Jordan Ward made the most of it. He just broke it down, hoping that someone would go on to the end of it. And like Shamrocks are starting to play well now, but you see that Garrycastle making a few changes now because the tide is slightly going into Shamrocks way here at the moment.
Yeah, kick out. Shamrocks tried to break the ball, but Garrycastle had it, and then there's a foul there on Cathal Mannion there, and referee is not going to let them take it quickly because he's going to take. There's 2 subs coming in. Number 21 is John Gaffey, a hugely experienced player to come in, and then Rory McGowan, equally as experienced as him. 2 of them make their way in now. Let's see who's coming off.
Michael or Cathal Mannion and Jack Mulvihill both coming off. So probably 2 of the youngest players on the field being replaced by 2 elder statesmen, but there's no substitute for experience when it comes down to the end of the game, right?
Yeah. So John Gaffey comes in there, and
I replaced number 21 John Gaffey and number 23 Rory McGowan.
Rory McGowan needs a first opportunity for him to get in play. Can he make the same impact as Jason Nugent did earlier on? Manages to hold on to that ball there, but Shamrocks have the jerseys in around that and the tackling hard to win the possession over. Big hit coming in there on Hornsby there. In fact, referee is telling that the foul had been committed back further. Darragh Daly takes it quickly, and we're back and underway again. Shamrocks just with 9 minutes or so on the clock have the possession here. Have a player over here, but it's been held on there by Mark Evers. Evers and Darragh Daly don't need to take any unnecessary risks here. Get the possession out, get it up the field. Mark Evers has it here. Larkin Smith comes on the loop around. It's all very, very short. It's very static. Garrycastle trying to pin them back in. They do get it out to Donegal Maguire. Maguire does very well to get a little underhand pass as far as Mark Evers. Maguire has it again, and Evers is there in support. Garrycastle trying to put the squeeze on here. Eventually Brian Gear gives a nice ball out, a big hit coming in there, and Adam Glynn. James Dolan not too happy with that. I don't know, Adam, was there contact, wasn't shoulder to shoulder. James Dolan has probably come out a little bit the worst.
I tell you what, it was Adam Glynn. Is this the first time that I've really seen him up close, and I'm very impressed with him. He's only a young lad, is he? I see Paul Ahern here beside us. Paul is saying he's a young lad. He's brave. He took that. There was no lying down and rolling around the place. He got straight back up. Yeah. James Dolan's after coming worse off, unfortunately for him. But it's Shamrocks made about 15-16 passes and didn't make 10 yards of up say the other end of the pitch. They need to just move that ball a little bit quicker. You have to admire Garrycastle's work rate though. It really kept them pressed in.
Yeah, and Darragh Daly on the attack again, gives it to Effie. Looked like there was a tug back on Effie, but manages to get the ball to Riley in, or Darragh Daly into Paddy Fake, and Paddy's on the loop, and Paddy punches the air, because as soon as that one left his foot, he knew it was on target. Effie's down. That'll be a worry for the Shamrocks men. There's a sub coming down below us. Number 21 is Conor Hanlon.
Yeah, Con was on the team all year last year. Must be struggling a bit with an injury. It was very impressive him last year.
Yeah, Effie is on the ground as the physio makes his way in, but Shamrocks are really been very, very resilient here now. They're back out to a 4-point lead, and I think Anna were just talking about some of their experienced players on one hand, but the young lads are really coming of age.
Absolutely.
Adam Glynn and Shane Ormsby and Donegal Maguire, I think these are guys that we've seen in the last couple of years at minor level, stepping up, being introduced, getting their opportunity, and they're certainly doing themselves justice. Conor Hanlon is in, and it is Effie that's making his way off. Effie has been excellent.
And you can't underestimate the performance of Darragh Daly either. He has been absolutely immense in the middle of the field. The young lads have stepped up, to be fair, and that's what Shamrocks are going to need over the next 7-8 years. These are the lads that are going to push Shamrocks forward. But I have to say I'm very impressed with both teams here today.
Yeah, if he gets a good round of applause there, put in a huge effort for his side there. The kick out is a good one there because it's gathered by the number 20, Andrew Monaghan. Andrew back as far as Matthew Gaheen. Gaheen lays it off quickly to John Gaffey. Gaffey cross into the centre. Paddy Fagan can't get there because Gary McCallan was strong, one possession, and nice ball over to his brother Mark, down the head down. He goes along that far side of the field, across to Shamrocks 45. Shamrocks trying to get the black jerseys in around him. McCallan comes back inside, gives it on to Ben Dunnigan. Now they're trying to put a real squeeze on just. And with that, there's the ball hung across over here towards Keane McCarthy. Dara Daly immediately out in front of him. McCarthy doesn't take on his man, instead gives a fistle pass into Conor Cosgrove. Conor. Mark Evers was in like a flash, and then the ball is pulled on first time. Will go out over the side, and is it? Yes, it does. Despite the best efforts there of Adam Glynn. Line ball is taken. Michael Monaghan carrying it forward. I think the shot comes in. Roscoe needs to be careful. It's gone over the bar. Is it a two-pointer? It is a two-pointer. I think it was one of the subs. It was Michael Monaghan.
No, Andrew Monaghan.
Andrew Monaghan, the number 20 that fired that one over.
Yeah, no, it was a good score.
We're back.
I say Garrycastle had getting slightly away, and I thought Rory McGowan was on the pitch when he took this line ball.
We're going to see it here very. No, definitely inside, but anyway, we have the advantage of the replay. Kick out is won again by Garrycastle here, and the ball given into Michael Monaghan, and Michael with another two-pointer, and that just proves this new score and two points, and you go from 4 down to being all level.
Yeah.
26 minutes on the clock.
Garrycastle sort of got away with one there where the man was on the pitch taking a line ball, but at the same time they probably thought they felt aggrieved that they didn't get a penalty either. So these things turn and roundabouts.
Roscoe is launched one out, and Shay Lawrence absolutely majestic as he soared up for that ball. This time fires it in. It's a little bit high for Dean Moore. Paddy Fagan is doing his best for it. It's gone off Paddy's foot, and he knows it as well. He did his best to keep it in play. Mickey Dan on the line signals immediately. Line ball from Garrycastle. They've taken it quickly. It's back with Matthew Gaheen. 26 and a half on the clock as Gaheen comes forward. Dean Moore trying to slow down his progress, and Mark McCallan comes in. McCallan back inside now to Andrew Monaghan, shifted quickly on to Rory McGowan, and it's gone right across to James Dolan over on that far side. Dolan carries it forward towards the 45 of the Shamrocks end, gives it inside, and James continues on his run, and he has it here. There's a foul committed there, but there was good tracking back there by Conor Hanlon, but it's going to come back for the free. There was a late hit on James Dolan there, I think it was, as he's getting the ball away, and there's a chance now for Garrycastle to go back into the lead. He's sort of, it's just inside the arc, so I don't think he's going to, it's not for a two-pointer array. I think the free is just from inside the arc. Michael Monaghan, two from frees already, and a two-pointer.
It should be probably a bit closer now because he hand passed off the ball, so it should be from where the ball lands.
Yeah, Monaghan, he's his boot, and as soon as it left his boot, he was heading back out. It was disappointment. It was. That one was an opportunity. It was left and wide. Every one of these kickouts now on and are so crucial. We're into the last 2 minutes. There will be a couple minutes of additional time, I'm quite sure. Ross Croom launches this one out as it hangs. Ormsby goes high again in front of Rory McGowan. Great catch there. Hanning is a huge man. We all remember his father playing in the middle of the field for so many years for Mullingar Shamrocks, but certainly like father, like son, as he put his name on that kick out, wins possession and sets up another attack here for the Shamrocks men. Dean Moore involved again, back to Daly, back to Moore, quick hands inside it goes. Larkin Smith, Larkin had the chance maybe to pull the trigger, just to nail on a little bit, and then the ball across. Darren Daly did his very best to get it, and then with pure bravery there wins that free. But Larkin Smith is a little bit late. I thought he should have pulled the trigger on the shot himself.
Yeah, he was looking for Dean Moore on the loop. He was looking to see was he going to come around, and it's a poor free for Garrycastle to give away though, after getting themselves back in the game, doing so well, and with 30 seconds to go, a minute to go on the clock, it's a soft free to give away. But I don't understand why Dean Moore isn't taking this. He scored one a couple of minutes ago, his left foot, and they're now bringing Ross Caroon up from the same spot to take the free. But listen, he's proven us wrong a few times already, Ray.
Let's see, Micheál Burke and his men down below here, it was a bit anxious. They're all standing down here with arms folded because there's huge pressure on the goalkeeper here, Ross Caroon. Ross on 45 this time, strokes it in. Is it inside the off? No! An opportunity wasted there. I take your point, Alan. You know, Dean Moore had kicked one out of his hands from a similar position. Are we going to have a winner in the 60 minutes? Sean Brennan with the kick out to the centre it goes. Brian Gearan is under. He doesn't get it because Dara Daly steps in behind him, and he will. 4 minutes of additional time.
At least 4 minutes.
Alan, knockout football has really brought the best out of this. It's been a great game. Both of these teams know one of them has to go home.
Yeah.
So it's everything on the line here now for the next 4 minutes. Mark Evers has possession here as he gives it across now to Brendan Riley. Riley to Daly as Riley continues to run. He won't thank his teammate for that pass, but he was brave. He got it. Gives it off now to Dean Moore. Moore over to Larkin Smith. Smith turns back around and Conor Hanlon is there. Hanlon back to Dara Daly and on to Dean Moore as Ormsby joins the attack again. Has Brian Gearan here if he wants to use him. He does use him. Gearan drops the shoulder, takes on his man, gets a little bit of space, comes forward, and Dean Moore has it again. But this has all happened halfway between 45 and 65 metre line. But Moore eventually does get it out where there is a spare man. That's Con O'Hanlon. Con trying to take on Rory McGowan, pops the ball away to Smith again. Every one of these possessions are so important. Larkin Smith looks like he's been fouled. The referee doesn't give him the free, and then eventually does give it. Now is Ross going to come forward again? This is one where
you'd have to bring him up. This is one where you just have to bring him up and let him have a go. There's only two and a half minutes to go, and you just need him to come up the field now and just have a go. And if nothing else, make sure it goes dead, and then you have a chance 50-50 for the kick out. But Garrycastle sort of defended really, really well, kept them outside at 45, and just silly leaving a hand in for long enough. And if you leave a hand in long enough, an experienced player will always buy you free.
This kick is just inside the 45 metre line. Over on the far side, if it doesn't really suit the right foot of kicker, wind is getting stronger of anything. But Ross, he fires the boot through it. It's a dangerous ball. It's gone inside. Oh, Sean Brennan had to be careful in there, and he kept his eye on the ball as the Mullingar Shamrocks man down in the goals. But the play is going on because Ben Donegan has possession for Garrycastle as he comes forward. Rory McGowan quickly on there as far as Michael Monaghan. Monaghan back to Donegan. There's a man spare inside. Donegan can lift his head up and find him, and he does. Good work here. It's John Gaffey who's come forward. Gaffey lays it off quickly. Well gathered in there by Jason Nugent. Good tackling there on Nugent, but he still has possession. Looks up, gets it across into the centre. Ben Donegan with the shot. No, it's gone to the right and wide. He hadn't much time, Alan. He had to pull the trigger on it.
No, he didn't have much time. He had to have a go. He had to have sort of a snapshot. But it's all going to come down to this kick out. There's a minute and 10 seconds left, Ray, and whoever is going to get this is probably going to have the last opportunity for a score.
Ross Caroon, right-footed, swings it at it. It's hanging in the air. Can Ormsby get it? Looked like he was blocked off, but it might just work out. Donovan Maguire touch it on the ground, free for Garrycastle, and Eamon Mulvihan has possession as he comes forward, pops it inside to Jimmy Dolan, quickly to Keane McCarthy. McCarthy trying to get by Daly. Is he charging? But yes, then the referee signals that the ball was thrown, I think, but that was superb play again by Dara Daly. He stayed in front of his man, wouldn't let him go by. Will Shamrocks get the opportunity to bring it up the field? Larkin Smith has it, has support over this side. Brian Gearan, he needs to come forward with it. Hugely athletic player, gets it into Paddy Fagan. Great tackle on Paddy there as he was about to turn with the possession. Ball back with Garrycastle again. Clock says we're into the last 10 seconds. Are we going to be here for 2 extra periods of of 10 minutes. Gary McCallan carrying it forward. We're gone just over the 4 minutes. The ball is inside. There's a chance for Michael Monaghan. Can he be a hero? Takes it on his left, fires it in, and it's over the bar. What a score for Monaghan. Oh, the Garrycastle mentors down below us are all over the place.
Oh, great score.
Oh, it's a fabulous score. They got it inside.
Yeah, just got caught in possession on the far end. They're going to get one more chance to try and get a draw with this.
Need to get possession.
Oh, what a
Shane
catch.
Ormsby, what a catch.
He has been absolutely outstanding in this half.
You need to know just to keep the head, but then referee has got to bring it forward. I think it was only a free, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he has to bring it forward because it was... Oh, man.
Anyway, referee has it underway again. Shane Ormsby has the ball, bounced out of one tackle. Still comes inside, needs a bit of support. Dylan Matthews driving forward. Quickly inside to Jordan Ward. Ward can't get a shot away. It's worked in nicely. Dylan Matthews, can he get his hand on it? Gives it inside. Oh, it's all very tight. The shot comes in and it is! It's in the net again! Is it Brian Gear?
It was.
I think it's Brian Gear, and if you're wondering who's shouting behind me, it's none other than Paula Heron, a former Mullingar stalwart. The crowd are up on their feet in front of it. Effie is down below and celebrating like they've just won an All-Ireland. Game is not over yet. Let's see. We're gone a minute and a half.
I think he blew it up, Ray. He blew it up. He
No.
blew it up the minute it hit the net. It's
confusion here now. It's all over. It's all over. I think it is Mullingar Shamrocks' day. 2 goals and 16 points to Garrycastle's 1 goal and 17. Alan, we had so much to talk about in the final 2 minutes. What a win for Mullingar Shamrocks. It's a pity anyone had to lose. It was a cracking match. But it is Shamrocks, by virtue of Brian Gear's. It wasn't only the last minute, it was the last kick of the last second.
It was probably well over the time, Ray. I'd say Garrycastle will feel very aggrieved over the situation, but when Monaghan scored a point to put them a point up with time basically up, it probably should have been blown up there and then, but we've been treated to an unbelievable game of football here. It was one of those things that it's just someone was going to lose it at the end of the day here today, but the way it finished up, it was a super run from Dylan Matthews again. I think it was Dylan Matthews who gave the last pass off the gear. And there's your full back and your wing back. I said to you at half time, Shamrocks need to get more out of Brian Gear, and they got it in the second half. He really stepped up to the plate. But I have to say, I feel very sorry for Garrycastle. I thought they were absolutely outstanding today. From a team that won the intermediate championship last year to get themselves to a quarter final and be within touching distance of going to a semi final this year. Credit to the Garrycastle management and their management and their players, because I thought they died today with their boots on. It's not the saying, Ray. And unfortunately for them, if the ball had went over the bar, Ray, it probably would have been a fair result to leave here or to go into 2 periods of extra time where you're going in and you're looking forward to seeing another 20 minutes of football after what we were treated to there now.
Yeah, look, it is Mullingar Shamrocks Day, and none more so than his father standing here in front of us here in the press was Shane Ormsby. Like, he soared into the air. It was so important that Shamrocks got possession, and I would have felt that if Garrycastle had won that last kick out, the referee would have probably blown full time for it.
He was absolutely outstanding. Especially, I think, like the Darren Daly was probably getting a little bit tired over on Keane McCarthy, and they aimed all their kickouts for the last 15 minutes on top of Shane Ormsby, and I think he caught all bar one. He gave away one when he did come down. He gave away one for the goal that Garrycastle won, but he didn't let that affect him. Signs of a great player for the future, that making a big mistake like that, you can go hiding in situations like that. When you do that, I've seen plenty of players in their time where they make big mistakes and they go hiding after that, but he didn't go hiding today. I think he caught 3 of the last 4 kickouts from Shamrocks. He caught the 3 of them, and he just set them on the front foot all the time. He was absolutely outstanding, but so was Darragh Daly. For 45-50 minutes, Darragh Daly was absolutely exceptional.
Yeah, and it has been all through. But look, it's hard. Like there was heroes all over the place. If Garrycastle had snuck that, and not snuck, but if they had got the win in that one, Alan, we'd be talking about some great performance in there. Michael Monaghan, you know, Ben Dunnigan was excellent. Jason Nugent came in, snuck a goal in. You know, his first attack. James Dolan with a great 2-pointer attack. You know, there was heroes all over the pitch. Huge effort. Unfortunately for one of them, it means the end of the year, but it's still been a good year for Garrycastle. I'm quite sure coming back out of intermediate, get out of that second tier, get up into the top tier, get into a knockout stage, and as you say, with the last kick of the game from preventing them from going into a semi-final. Now looking forward, Alan, Shamrocks will now go forward with plenty of confidence, taking on the Downs in the semi-final. A game that they'll go in as huge underdogs with nothing to lose.
Yeah, and when in the last day, Shamrocks, they'd known that really and truly, unless a load of things went against them, they were going to go through to a quarter final anyway against the Downs. So the Downs will have to prepare themselves. There's nothing worse than playing the same. You play group setting and you go into a semi-final, and then you play the same team that you beat well in the last round of the league part of the championship. You're there playing them now. Listen, the Downs are not going to come into that game under any illusion that them playing very, very well is the only thing that's going to get over Shamrocks. But Shamrocks have to be very happy with the way, in particular, the younger players played. I thought the young lads on the team were absolutely exceptional, and that's what they need going forward. They need plenty of those.
Yeah, look, we're going to finish here. Just before I do finish, I always want to give a little plug for our podcast on Monday night, where we're going to be looking back on the two games we've already seen here today, the two games that we'll look at tomorrow as well, the other quarter final in the intermediate, the other quarter final in the senior. We'll also be previewing all the upcoming LGFA finals that are due to take place here next weekend. So that's one for your diaries for Monday night. I'll be on, not sure who the guests are going to be on it yet. Alan has been on plenty of them with us, he knows the crack, so we look forward to that. Big things coming on the podcast as well. We are going to be going out live at some stage as well. Hopefully that's the plan anyway. But from Alan and myself, I have to draw a breath here, Alan, because that was an absolutely outstanding finish to a great game of football. Mullingar Shamrocks, the men in black jerseys, they emerged victorious. The last kick of the game, a goal from their wing-back Brian Gearan, meant that they emerged victorious. 2 goals and 16 points. The Garrycastle's 1 goal and 17. 2 between them in the end. Ollie has been, as usual, on the camera. I want to thank Alan, Paul and Paula Hearn. Paul Doolin and Paula Hearn were carried our first game for you. From myself, Ray Gavin, from Mark Pittman on 24/7 TV in Birmingham. I hope you enjoyed that game, Mark, as much as the rest of us did here. We'll be back here in TG Cusick Park tomorrow, with, as I said, with the other intermediate quarter final, followed by the other senior quarter final. So from myself and Alan, it's goodbye for now.
TEG, proud sponsors of TEG Cusick Park, serving aviation, biopharmaceuticals and medical industries across the globe. TEG has been to the fore in the fight against COVID-19 with our customers and partners. A local business employing local people. Visit teg.com/careers to learn more. Wishing all our GAA patrons a safe passage through the championship.
Seventh Coaches, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA Hurling Championships. Clark's Bar, wishing all teams the very best today. MJ Stone Building and Developments, proud sponsor of Westmeath GAA.
Cusick Park pitch is 145 metres long. Imagine 3 of these bridge beams would make up the length of the pitch. Now transport 30 of them from Harney to Kildare. A challenge overcome by a great team with the support of a great community. My name is Pat Barrett, Project Manager, Shay Murtagh Precast.